Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is living split screen in the morning with your guys, Hong and Steel. Look, man, it's another Saturday morning full of greatness and full of energy, and we're here to feed y'all and give you the energy boost that you may need to get into your weekend. Look, for everybody who's here already, I want to say thank you just for being here and being consistent. We're just trying to be here and knock it out of the park for y'all every weekend, right? We're just trying to get y'all started, get y'all ramped up. I actually need to change the gameplay in the background because y'all saw this last week, but that's all right. Look, man. Home.
Yes, sir.
We haven't had a chance to really dive into too many things throughout the week, man, but we were on Fun Pop this week. We did have some discussions that we always do within the DMs and just conversation overall, man. So I feel like we're going to have a really good show. But what's going on with you, man? How you feeling? And yeah, what's going on?
Dude, it's May the 1st already, Steel. Are you kidding me right now? May the 1st. Happy May 1st to everybody out there. Chat, you're all looking beautiful as always. Good morning, good afternoon to our European friends, but it is another episode 6 of the Living Split Screen, and Steel and I are ready to rock and roll. Yes, it's been a long week. And it's been kind of interesting that Steel and I haven't had a lot of chance to get together, but we were just in the green room, and all of a sudden we're having discussions, as always, and topics are popping up. And I actually had to say, hold on, Steel, stop. Let's save this for the show. So that's how it works. But no, great to be back. Great to be Saturday morning. And great to be here with everybody, as always, on Living Split Screen. So you know what, Steel?
What's going on?
We got some exciting stuff come up. May's a big month, man. We got this is a full month of games.
Yes, excellent, man. It's an excellent month of games.
This week's a little light on the games, but we got a heavy hitter, right? So we got a heavy hitter that everybody's been waiting on.
That is a fact.
Yep. So you know what? We'd like to start off the show, with telling you about the games. Steel, do you have any games you've been playing this week that you want to talk about first?
Because this week I was going to say.
Yeah, because I think what did I play this week? I played Second Extinction with you early in the week.
Yes,
we actually did get to some Second Extinction, which a lot of people have been talking about. Another great game that dropped into Game Pass for what it is. It's fun. So why don't you go ahead? Tell me, obviously, what did you get anything else other than Second Extinction, and how did you feel about Second Extinction?
I thought, okay, well. Because I wanted to get your overall opinions on Second Extinction. I know we kind of talked about it in the background, but I'll give you mine first. Look, I feel like Second Extinction, because again, we did play it earlier in the week, and that's just one of the games. So I'm just going to give you my overall opinion. Second Extinction is an excellent game for a game that's in preview. For a game that you can just drop into, kill some dinosaurs, do a couple missions, and then get in, get out type of method. I feel like it's been amazing. We've loaded in, no problems, no connection issues. We don't get booted. And you can't when a game drops like that, in this day and age, you gotta enjoy it for what it is, right? One of those games, especially a co-op multiplayer game, where you're expecting for the connection to be solid. You're expecting for things to run smoothly, at least, if you're going to give me this co-op experience. And that's exactly what it brought. Me and Paul dropped in. We had an excellent time. I think we only died once the entire time we played, a piece, right? And then after that, we just adjusted to it, and it seemed like we were growing with the game. And especially after we hadn't had a chance to use it yet, but especially when we started using the upgrade system. And we started learning about that. We're like, okay, we see what's going on here. We're seeing what the potential is. And again, I believe they're in their 4th season. They just dropped a new character that came out with the game on game preview and the Game Pass. So it's an exciting thing. What I'm most excited for is when they actually bring it to crossplay, because I'll be excited to also play it on PC and get that feel for it, the 120 frames, just because I don't have my series consoles yet. So, but there's so much potential with this. I was talking a little bit last night on GRG. For me, it's more of it's a Turok Left 4 Dead game, right? Where you're getting
very
that,
good.
where you're getting that high intensity of the enemies, which is dope because you see games like Outriders, you see games like Gears of War that have those enemies that are aggressive, and they're a problem if you do not address them. And I feel like that's a really dope thing. These enemies in this dinosaur game with Second Extinction, man, it's like they just come out of the woodworks. It's like, okay, yeah, like for example, we were playing, right, and we saw that they had these burrows that would pop up, so we would start shooting at the burrows, and then bring the burrows.
Ooh, I like that
down,
sound effect. By the way, you gotta bring that sound.
There
we go. Yeah, nice.
It sounds kind of like something that would be in Star Wars.
I love it, man.
I gotta change it up. But yeah, we were getting at the dinosaurs. And then all of a sudden we would get flanked, and we're like, yo, what are we getting hit by? And we thought we killed the burrows. And typically in normal games, once you kill the spawn point, that's it. No, they're coming from like across the map, apparently, out of the woods, out of caves. And it's so dope because it adds to the intensity to the game. It keeps that pressure on. It's kind of like why you play a multiplayer game, right? You get in because you want that competition. And it's always good when the PvE aspect is able to bring that in too. Again, they have an excellent base, and I can't wait to see what they do as they continuously improve and come to full release. Now, Pong, I mean, you had some things that you felt about it. I feel like we're pretty much on the same page with it. How'd you feel about it, man?
Oh yeah, man. No, again, this is one of those games that is just we talk about all the time, Steel, but I'm loving that we are at this point where we are starting to get games in Game Pass that are just fun, right? They're not perfect, they're not polished, they're not some kind of deep, and again, it shouldn't be, because this is only a preview version of it, right? So they're working on this thing. But the point being is we're getting these games that you don't have to have the deep, the long, deep, the thoughtful type of games all the time, right? We've got plenty of those. It's just great to get back to what made video gaming what it is in the first place. And there are just some games that are starting to come out now where I feel that little kid energy again, right? That little kid, like again, most of us as kids love dinosaurs, right? And that's what Turok brought. And that's what, Jurassic Park, the movies were so popular, is because we love dinosaurs. This game just brings it, like you said, Left 4 Dead mixed with Turok. It just gives you that childhood kind of feeling of like, man, this is just fun. I'm going to drop in here with my buddy, or two buddies, and we're just going to go kill some dinosaurs, right? Exactly. And that's what this is about. But at the same time, like, there's some depth to this game, which is also, at first you and I were like, all right, we got some basic weapons, basic character classes. Okay, all right, that's cool. What are they going to do to keep us around? And then when we opened up the level, and we leveled up, then all of a sudden, we got to the end and it was like, all right, we're collecting all this stuff. What can we do with all this stuff that we're collecting? And sure enough, and we found that there's some depth to it, right? You got some perks. You've got some added extra, upgrades to your weapons. Mm-hmm. There's a point to what you're doing, right? So I think that is that is speaking to what the developers are looking at doing with this game down the road, and how they're going to expand upon it and keep it fresh. And if they can add characters, if they can add new levels, and they can continue to increase maybe even the weapons. I think they've got something that could have some legs here for sure. And I'm loving the fact that that these dinosaurs, they're not dumb. Okay, these dinosaurs, right? Oh, no. These dinosaurs are out to eat you. Okay, period. Like, and they are coming at you. And like you were talking about, Steel, even when you take down some of the spawn points, you still got them coming over the distance, right? And they're coming from the mountains, and they're all of a sudden you turn around, dude. Steel, when we were running from those one group of dinosaurs, and we were going through that tunnel, and I turned around, and okay, so the fog effect to me can be annoying, and I'm not sure I like it. However, when I turned around in the tunnel and you had that green fog in the background, mm-hmm. and all I saw was shadows of probably like 10, 15 raptors following us, I was like, okay, God, wow, okay, this gives me that Jurassic Park feeling. Like, we got to go. We got to get out of here. We got to get to a safety point, because I think both you and I didn't have any health packs yet left. And I was like, okay, it's time to run. But man, it's just, like I said, it's just a pure fun game to drop into. It doesn't take itself seriously. It just is. It's alien mutant dinosaurs, for God's sakes, people. Okay. and that's the way the developer's been taking this exactly the way they should. Like, hey guys, we just made this fun, like kind of old school, like sci-fi kind of movie, and we just want you to play it, right? And that's kind of the way they're taking it, and I love that. And I love the energy it comes with. You know, again, just pure fun. It's not going to be for everybody. You know, there's been some hate out there. I've already seen it. You know, people talking about, you know, the graphics aren't up to par and all that. Man, I don't care. When you and I fought that first T-Rex and I ran out of ammo in my Gatling gun and I was reloading and you stunned him, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna go up and melee him. Yeah. And that's all I did, was I just sat there underneath him and meleeed him until you smacked him until he was dead. And I posted the clip on Twitter. If you look at the clip, what's even funny is some of the raptors are getting hit by me and they're flying up in the air like 80 feet up in the air. I mean, it's hilarious. I'm like, oh my God. But that's fun, man. Sometimes video games are just supposed to be ridiculous and just a good time. And that's what I think this game is. And I can see where they're going with it. And if they expand it right, I think it will have some legs, because it's always one of those games. There's always going to be some of those games where you can just go back to when you're scrolling through, you know, 400 games on Game Pass, and you're like, what am I going to play today? And you just kind of have that, you know, oh God, there's so many games. What am I going to play? You know what? Let's drop in. Let's do some second Extinction real quick, because it's just fun. And you know, you can just drop in. You don't have to care. Right? It's just a good time. So that's where I'm at with it, man. I'm happy it's here. I'm happy we get a chance to play it in Game Pass. Another great addition to Game Pass. You know, pure and simple. I love it. So I think it's fun.
Yeah, and it's been super dope, man. Again, if you haven't tried it out, definitely go try it out. It's in Game Pass, man. And it's also on Steam if you want to get it on PC. Other than that, I also started jumping back into Outriders. The update went live this week. I believe it was yesterday. And they still had some issues after they dropped the update. They were still having some back-end issues. People were unable to sign in and so on and so forth. There's some updates on that. Open World Games is a good place to follow if you want some updates on Outriders itself. But from what I've noticed so far from the update, I
gotta talk about this, because I haven't had a chance to play it yet.
Yeah,
you kind of tell me behind the scenes what was going on. So yeah, talk about it.
And it's something I did want to talk about, because I feel like not enough people are. I feel like not enough people are talking about it. It's like it went up and then it went down, and then people are acting like it's died. But the game still has a lot of life in it. At least from this new update, I know a lot of people are saying, oh, they broke more stuff. But for me, from what I've noticed, is breathed new life into the game for me. Because before the update, I hit a wall. It was freaking ridiculous, man. Like, but now with this new update, at least for me personally, and I would suggest others to go try it out and see how you're feeling about it. Because I'm not saying for sure this is, oh, it's the greatest thing since sliced bread now. No, it still needs some more work, but at least with this update, I've been able to get in. The balancing seems better. Getting able to get in and grind some materials so that I can work on a build or whatever, so that I can do higher level content. Because that's the point that I was at. I feel like I got power. I got put with a random group of people, got power leveled, and then my entire build was messed up, because I thought if I could just put higher level gear on, do lower level content, that I could just grind it out that way to get right, and it would work, and it didn't.
Right.
So with this update, I was able to actually go back and do that lower level content, and it actually feels solid. I don't feel at an extreme disadvantage anymore. I feel like I can grind out the story content or whatever, for example, if I need to. Like right now, I have a specific mission that I'm grinding out just because it's easy to get in and get out and just get the materials that I'm looking for. And it's been a solid time now. So I think I put in another 3-4 hours last night. I have over 105 hours in the game right now. It's still an excellent time to me. I was on the verge of being kind of upset about it, and it was going to be something I talked about, because I was going to say, man, I'm at the point where I want to drop it. But at the same time, me being I'm a looter shooter guy, man. So and I'm also a third person experience.
Yep.
I'm also a third person shooter kind of guy when it comes to a multiplayer experience. So for that looter multiplayer third person game, I was really hoping that it would live to some kind of an expectation. Again, that's also for me as a gamer, also basing it off of what they're saying. I just kind of have a bad taste in my mouth when we're coming off of Anthem with another game that I had an insurmountable amount of faith.
Ooh, say that 5 times fast. Come on.
The first time was a little rough. I'm still getting coffee in my system. I need the shot in my veins, man.
Come on, Steel.
But yeah, I was trying to have that experience with it, and put this amount of time in it. Oh no, I was gonna say the experience that I had so much faith with Anthem, man, and it let me down.
Let us all down.
To be completely y'all need to look in my eyes. Anthem was everything that I was looking for within a title. It had the Iron Man feel that I have been searching for over the last 15, 20 years almost. You know what I mean? Because I'm an Iron Man fan. That game was the best example of what it could have been, and it took it to that next level. And I'm so upset that they killed it off to this point. And no, I'm not going to jump in it and deal with.
Just going to say, are we having an Anthem discussion on Living Split Screen?
No, we're not going to have an Anthem discussion, but it just makes me feel a certain way because now it's like,
I know it does.
It makes you kind of as a gamer, it makes you kind of second guess your choices because you get hyped for these games, right? And then you set your again, it's personal expectation, but you get your expectation, you get your hopes up. The game comes out and you're like, what happened? Well, I was having a good time, and then I've reached the highway and I could only do 80 miles an hour. I thought I could do 160, but you can't. So, I mean, it is what it is. Overall, Outriders is definitely something, if you haven't jumped back into it after the update, check it out. See if it's still something that you are willing to give a try, man. Other than that, Paul, anything else that you've been able to touch into this week?
Oh, man. Really nothing else. It's been, like I said, it was a long week, man. Month end, real life work, unfortunately, gets really busy. It's getting busier and busier for me because things are getting back to normal, which is a good thing.
Right.
You know, life is coming back around, but, you know, that also means less game time. I've been working late. You know that. I've been messaging you, say, man, just got home. So, no, actually, I haven't been able to touch on anything else this week at all. So it's one of those things. You know what? Still, man, have you seen this chat? We got a lot of cool people in this chat.
Man. The chat is on freaking fire. Just the chat, man. What's going on?
We got a lot. We got a lot, man. Let's run this down. Let's run these beautiful, beautiful people, as you like to say, down because they're live. Look, Six Slayer was in here early. I don't know if he's still here, but he jumped in here. We got Back from the Dead, of course. We got Muppet. 1169 Muppet, good old Muppet, he's in here. We've got Dreadpool jumped in. Who else we got here? We got HR Bomber, we got Matt Burns, we got The Blue, we got Casket Repair.
Let's go.
Look at all these people. We got Assassin Lupa, of course. Beautiful Assassin Lupa, who I did a show with last night. She is in the house. We've got Rain of the Third Eye. He is here. We got PK shows up and says, "What's up? What's up, PK? Hope you're doing well this morning." Dragon Heart Yobi, of course.
Always.
Brother.
Yobi, the
absolutely.
Love,
peace, love, and life. Dragon Heart. Thank you for showing up. We got, who else we got in here? We got That Mama Rocks stopped by to say hi.
Yes.
Thank you, Mama Rocks. Absolutely. We got Prophet in here. Prophet, loving your show, brother. Love your interviews, man. So you keep doing your thing too.
You're doing an excellent job so far, man. Keep it up.
Yep. Good to see you. And who else we got in here? Oh, of course. We've God, I don't want to miss anybody here, but I know Elk Dude is in here. Cam is in the house. I know Cam was a little disappointed with Second Extinction.
Yes.
That's okay, man. That's okay. Again,
hey,
not every game for every person.
It's for every gamer.
That's right. But Cam, glad to see you, man. Again, congrats on your new job too, brother. I don't know if I told you that on Twitter, but I'm happy that you're happy because that's a big, important thing for people. So absolutely, Cam. Yeah, super absolutely. You know, my extended family showing up here. So our extended family, Caitlin, Beautiful Caitlin's here.
Mav
Fun
here.
speculation, aka Mav. Actually, it's Mav, aka Fun Speculation. That's how we should do that. But anyways, they're both in the house. They both woke up early to be here with us. Smitty Smith, salute,
Smitty
sir.
Smith in the house.
Yes, he is in the house. Stanley Francois, you are all here. Thank you very much, sir, for showing up. Yeah, exactly. Did I miss anybody in here? I don't think I missed anybody. If I missed anybody, I love you all. Chaos Theory showed up. Thank you, Chaos. Appreciate you coming out. I think I covered. Oh, wait. No, there's somebody else in here. I don't know if White Hawk. There it is. White Hawk. Yep,
White Hawk. Anybody that if we end up missing anybody, just give us a hey in the chat. Tell us how much if you're loving the show, if you hate us, and then go ahead and hit that like or dislike button to let us know if you love what we got going on, man. And just for those who may be tuned into the YouTube version, for our YouTube watchers or listeners, I do have a game called Sonic GT playing in the background. I was looking for a Sonic game to play, man, and just because that's the era that I come from, man. Sonic means so much to me. That's I can go into a whole nother discussion about just Sonic himself.
Oh, dude, you know it. Sega for life, baby. You know that is
a fact. That is a fact. I'm 100% right there. Sega. Anyway, that's right. Look. If you're looking for something to get into, you got a PC, try out Sonic GT. It's made, it's an open source game, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. It was made by a small team. It's short. I believe it's only like a 3-4 hour experience. I believe I haven't played it all the way through, but I want to say they're using Unreal in this. I could be wrong in that also. But overall, it's an excellent title. If you like the platforming that they've brought into the newer Sonic generations a little bit, where they've made it more of like the behind the back, fast pace, making you feel like honestly, it kind of makes me feel like Sonic's looking like a god. Like in this one, they give him after images and whatnot, so it looks really cool when you get up to speed. They tell you how fast you're going in miles per hour and everything. It's really awesome, dude. It's really dope. Like the concept of it is cool. If y'all are checking it out in the background, if y'all end up seeing it, it's dope, man. And they got Sonic, they got Knuckles, they got Tails, they got Shadow. Shadow, it does the sliding and everything. It's so dope, man. If you got a PC, check it out. Hopefully Sega realizes how big of an idol that they have on their side, and that maybe Microsoft picks it up. And we can really bring this idol back to life.
Just need a new Sony. Oh my god.
So we need a new Sony Hedgehog.
We just need a new Sony. How about that? I'll just how about that? Yeah. No, we need a new Sonic Adventure, man.
Yes,
that's all I'm gonna say. We need a new Sonic.
If you're
Adventure.
not going to remake Sonic Adventure 2 or remaster it, if you're not going to do that, because honestly,
just make a new one.
That's the bare minimum that I need. Just completely remaster it. Give me my Child Garden. Take it to the next level. Give me more levels, and I'll be completely happy. But if not, give me a 3. I need it tomorrow.
Agreed.
But anyway,
crowdfund it. I don't care.
I put whatever you got to Kickstarter. I will.
Sega
be
on
front
Kickstarter.
Man. I will be the front man. That would be
funny. Sega out there begging for money.
No, because you know what? I'll be the one to do it for them. Hey, guys, pay attention. Within the next coming weeks, I'm putting up a Kickstarter for Sonic Adventure 2 remaster. Bare minimum.
Please donate to this poor company, Sega. They just need a chance to create a new game.
Hey,
Sonic
look,
Adventure.
Sega, if you need somebody to be your motivational speakers for your gaming, whatever gaming devs that you get, bring in me and Pong. We'll be your marketing advisors. Just we'll take care of everything else. Just help bring the game out.
Exactly.
But as we move forward,
quick shout out to Noof Kaboom.
Boom Boom Kaboom's in the room.
Boom Boom Kaboom.
Okay.
Noof is in the house. Doggy Dog 420 showed up.
Okay.
Oh, I love this, man. All these people showing up for us every Saturday. Underground Gamer is in the house as well. So some new additions to the chat. So that is awesome to see, guys. Hey, before we get off topic or get too far off topic, my God, my mouth is not working either this morning. Gosh,
right, man.
Yeah, so let's run through the games coming out this week real quick. There's only a few, so this ain't no big deal.
Upcoming,
but there is a big one in here, and there's a kind of a cool one that I'm kind of looking forward to. So let's start May 4th. We've got Sayri: The Beginning coming out on PC.
Ooh.
Again, console guy only here. Don't know what it is. I'm looking at the picture of it, and it looks kind of like an animal-ish, Pokemon-ish kind of game, maybe. I don't know. Looks like some I don't know. Anybody that's got a PC out there that knows what this game is, please drop it in the chat if you got a good description for it. Quick, short description. Otherwise, The Colonist is coming out for PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch also on May the 4th. And this is I have not taking a look at this, but it's a strategy game from Code by Fire is the developer, and the publisher is Mode 7 Games. Looks like you're doing some strategy work with robots of some type. Oh, yeah. So, and must be, obviously from the name, The Colonists, I'm assuming that you're exploring and kind of planets with little robots. Looks kind of cool. And then we've got Skate City. Now this is an interesting one. Skate City is coming out May 6th. I was unaware of this game, but this has been on the Apple Store since 2019. So but this takes like the more I've seen of it, the more I'm kind of interested in it. Okay. I haven't been into skateboarding games for quite a while. I do want to pick up the Tony Hawk remake at some point and try it again, because I don't know how many hours I had.
What's interesting about this one, you don't want to get into conversation about how many hours we as a collective we probably have at least 100,000.
Oh yeah. 2 lifetimes worth of Tony Hawk.
What's crazy about this Skate City game? It's a single player experience.
Yeah.
That's weird.
It's a single player.
That's crazy.
And it takes, what I love about this, if nobody's seen this, again, it's been in the Apple Store since 2019, and it's just coming to all platforms. Coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, PC, and iOS, which has already been out on. But the point being is that when you look at this game, it's got a minimalist style, kind of like Art of Rally does with racing. So when you take a look at it, but it's beautiful, and the movement of the skater is so fluid. It's got me interested in a little bit. Yeah, it's got me. It's piqued that interest a little bit. This is developed by Agnes Games and published by Snowman. I don't know what else they've done, but again, from what I've seen, it's got a style of its own that definitely will draw the eye. So I might check this one out, actually. And again, that comes out May the 6th. Again, across all platforms. So that's Skate City. And then, of course, the big one.
Tell them. What is it? What's the big one? Well, I can see it on screen.
It's the thick girl horror game, right? Because that's all this is about now, is the thick girl, right?
I don't get that, but maybe
Resident
you understand
Evil
it.
Village. Resident Evil Village is coming out May the 7th. The demo is now out for everybody. I have not had a chance to download it. I don't know if you have, Steel, but I need to download it and check it out. Again, as I get older, I've become a bigger and bigger scaredy cat. So I'm not afraid to admit it.
You're right.
I'm just
I'm
not.
right there with you. I'm right there with you.
I used to like horror games. I didn't used to love horror games, but I used to like horror games, and I played a lot of them. Right, Parasite Eve's back in the day. Silent Hills back in the day. Obviously, Resident Evil. I used to play them all, but again, as I get older, for some reason I don't like them. So I tried Resident Evil 7, and it's definitely not my bag. I think I made it 45 minutes, and I was like, I'm out. I'm not doing this. I'm not putting myself through this. I can't do it. Now, when it comes to Village, I'm going to give the demo a try because I'm big into vampires, which this has. This also has werewolves. Cool with that as well. I love that they brought back a little bit of the crafting system, a little bit of Resident Evil 4 style. So I really want to love this. I don't mind the first person view, but I'm hoping that the overall feel of Village is a little bit easier on my senses, and I can do this. Even being chased by a thick girl down the hallways, I don't think will give me a problem, but we'll see.
You prefer that? Right.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing.
Thanks.
and the other little vampire, the vampire ladies as well. But the moth girls or whatever you want to call them, because everybody's calling them different things. But girls, I just like the overall look and feel of this game from what I've seen so far. So I'm really going to give it a go and see if I can make it through. But obviously this is a big one. Everybody's been waiting for this. Resident Evil has made a huge comeback. Capcom is absolutely crushing it with their latest versions of these games, and which is great to see, because again, this is one of those, in video game history, Resident Evil definitely has solidified its place. It started a whole new kind of genre. And, when Resident Evil, I still remember playing PlayStation Resident Evil and the dogs jumping through the window and absolutely, crapping my pants, but loving it at the same time. And that it was like one of those experiences you'll never forget if you played the original Resident Evil. So I'm glad to see him back. And making waves, and Resident Evil Village is obviously one of the biggest games of the year. Everybody's been waiting for this, so
that's 100%.
Good to see it coming out May 7th. So I'm going to try out the demo. Let us know if anybody in the chat's been able to hit up the demo. Let us know your initial thoughts, what you think of it. Because I know this is different. They released that demo for PlayStation 5, which was just kind of more of a visual demo, kind of giving you a rundown of what the kind of what the graphics are going to feel like and what the atmosphere was going to be like. I think this one is a completely different demo that gives you a little bit more gameplay to it. So I'd be interested to hear if anybody's got any thoughts on it so far. But that's it for this week. Again, May is a huge month. And Steele and I will cover the weekly games that come out each week, on Saturday, that we're looking forward to the next week. We will definitely cover those games, but this is a huge month, for sure. There's a lot of stuff coming out this month, so it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, there's Golden Age of gaming. There's some fire titles coming out this week, and again, like Paul was saying, week by week we'll be going through them. So if y'all say any of the future titles before we get to them week by week, we're going to talk about you. We're telling you right now what we're doing. But anyway, but yeah, man. Me personally, I'm not excited for Resident Evil. Just to touch base a little bit. Just because I've never been a true fan of Resident Evil. I liked it more when it was third person, and because it went to first person, I'm completely turned off of it. I have no interest in trying and even wanting to try it out. For those who are interested in it, I hope that it's everything that you guys are looking for. I know Resident Evil 7 got a lot of hype on it. There was a lot of people who loved the first person experience and thought it was outstanding, and they love where they're taking it, and I feel like that's what's great, man. We enter these different eras with these games, and it keeps it fresh. I feel like it's not a bad thing because the game is fresh now. Now you get that more personal experience with Resident Evil, whereas before it was more, it wasn't as scary. And I feel like that's one of the key points of Resident Evil is to be a more scary, be a scarier game. Again, Resident Evil 2 is still one of the scarier games for me. When the Nemesis and those dogs are chasing you through the levels, and I can't deal with it, brother. And even then, like, the graphics weren't even that. I couldn't deal with it that. I was like, nope, turning off my PlayStation. Nope, I'm not doing it. But either way, man, it's exciting to see how these games are going. It looks like they got a great idea. Every time that you involve vampires and werewolves, it can always be an interesting story to happen. So I'm looking forward to I'm looking forward to that, man. So, but I guess as we move forward, what do we want to roll into, man? How deep are we in here right now? I believe we're about like an hour or so in now.
45 minutes. We just got through the games coming out this week. Man, you know what? This is so funny.
We've been having conversation too, so.
Listen, I tell you the story. When I was on Next podcast this week, shout out to Xbox 448, K Mega and the crew over there. When I was on that, it was funny because they were talking about how long they went. We went with like 3 hours on that podcast, right?
Yeah, I did.
And they were, talking about how long, and I'm like, I had to jump in, and I'm like, look, are you kidding me right now? I'm like, Steele and I alone do 2+ hours, all right? And K Mega had to jump in, was laughing. Shout out to K Mega, he was laughing. He's like, yeah, I was just about to say that myself. You two run forever. Yeah, we can talk. That's talk. A fact. So anyways,
that's why we're here, though, man. We could do 90 minutes. We could do 90 minutes and it's just us. And I don't know how we do it. Again,
in our sleep.
Put some background because I want this show to be personal to y'all, man. Because I want it to be so energy driven, and I want it to be so live, raw, and uncut, as I like to say. I had a conversation with my wife earlier before we hopped into the show, and I was telling her, I was like, look, me and Paul didn't really get a chance to conversate through the week, and we hadn't really got a chance to play together through the week or whatever. So if we go into the show again with not really touch base and just winging it, and we have a good show, I don't know how to feel about that. You let me know how we should feel about that, and we might bring it back later on in the show, because I feel like it's a unique trait, and or maybe I might be tripping, but
no, it is.
Hopefully y'all are having a good time, man. Hit that like button if y'all feeling the energy, if y'all loving what's going on. Again, we're here to give y'all that live, raw, and uncut feel. So as we move forward.
Yeah, where are we going?
I mean, there's a couple different ways. We can address the state of play. We can, again, we've been starting off PlayStation, it seems like, here recently. We could also start off light and get the Pokemon thing out the way. Get the light Nintendo stuff out the way real quick. Or we can give our thoughts on Returnal, because I know neither of us have played it. Neither of us also have PS5s. But that does not mean that we cannot have thoughts. You know what I mean?
There's stuff to talk about for sure. There's stuff to talk about when it comes with Returnal. You know what? Well, let's just say that since we just talked about games coming out this week, let's just touch on real quick, since neither one of us, but you have a little bit more experience, but not a whole lot. But Pokemon Snap came out this week. For any of you Nintendo fans out there, obviously a big release. It's been getting a lot of hype. There's been people talking about it. I've been seeing it on Twitter a lot. People seem to be enjoying it. So if you guys didn't know, Pokemon Snap did come out. Again, not my forte. I don't know, Steel.
Nah.
You got anything?
For me personally, Pokemon Snap is okay. Let me see if I can bring up this window capture, just because I like to be petty, and actually show what we're talking about. Pokemon Snap was cool back in the day. It was something that I could feel, that I could get into. It's basically, you're going around. Do you want a definition of what Pokemon Snap is, Pong? Because I'm going to pull it up straight from Google,
please,
so that you can understand. Because some people may not know what the point of Pokemon Snap is. And see, because it's not your typical Pokemon game. You're not going around catching Pokemon, training them, breeding them, fighting them brutally against one another to almost to death, and just promoting animal abuse.
Is that what Pokemon Snap is?
No, that's Pokemon overall. That's what Pokemon is.
Low key. Okay. I was waiting for PETA to show up and start protesting with your description right there.
I only say that because as an adult looking back on what Pokemon is doing, that's essentially what they're doing. They're just pitting animals against each other, fighting each other to almost to death. Like, these Pokemon have to go to a hospital afterwards, guys. Like, you don't realize this? Like, they have to be nurtured back to health, man. They get beat to pulps and expected to keep fighting.
Is Sarah McLachlan going to start singing in the background? Or are we gonna...
Maybe it's going to turn into an opera here in a second. I'm just saying. But look,
sounds awful, by the way.
For those. But no, Pokemon's fun, man. Overall, as a game, Pokemon is outstanding. It's just funny to look back on it as an adult. When you've been playing these games for so long, look back on games and look at their basic principle, and be like, yo, it's kind of off. But Pokemon Snap was cool. Back in the day, it was. I think it was on Nintendo 64. It was dope because you were able to go around within like the Pokemon world and take pictures of Pokemon or whatever. But the whole principle of Pokemon Snap. Now listen. The objective of the game is to take pictures of Pokemon using items such as apples, pester balls to achieve better shots. After each round, players are judged based on the quality of their photos. Now look, that might sound exciting to you, but to me, I hope you love it. That's all I got to say about Pokemon Snap. That's all I really have for the most recent news as far as Nintendo. There might be is there anything really? Is there anything else that's really touching base as far as Nintendo's going? Other than I know the rumors of a Switch Pro are still moving and shaking out there. I feel like that's just becoming more and more rampant in the streets nowadays. But other than that, I don't think there's any other.
I think we're going to start hearing some more here because they are going to be at E3. So I think that's kind of a big deal. And there's a lot of expectations. Obviously, Nintendo has a history of not giving their fan base what they always expect when it comes to this stuff. But hopefully, again, how long have we been waiting on the new Metroid? I say we, even though I don't own one, I do like Metroid. So I've been interesting to see where they take Metroid from here on out. So again, being at E3, I think we might start hearing some more stuff coming up about Nintendo. But right now, kind of all's quiet, the usual for Nintendo. And they drop another Pokemon game. Everybody's kind of happy about it. So that's how they do it. Everybody's willing to pay money for old games. So
no, that's a fact.
Again, respect that hustle.
That's a fact.
That's all there is to it.
As we move forward, they do have some games coming out, but we're not going to talk about them yet. Because again, like we said earlier, we'll tell you guys about the games that are releasing on the week, closer to the weeks that they are releasing, to build up that hype, man. Because that's what you're supposed to do as a gamer. You don't want to know about a game a month away. You want to know about when it's coming out next week. At least that's the perspective I like to take. Anyway, so from the whole Nintendo thing, Pokemon Snap, and that whole abusive relationship we were having with that conversation,
abusing animals, that's great.
Yeah, because that's essentially where we're going. Since we didn't have much on that, I guess we can kind of move on to Returnal because it is a big conversation. Mainly because I feel like, not only within the community, because I've been seeing in other places, whether you're on Reddit or whether you're on Facebook or whether you're just looking through YouTube comments, where you're seeing people say different things about Returnal, or whether it's on one side saying, hey, well, you're zooming in real close and saying, oh man, look at all these pop-ins and the game is off, or oh, come to find out the game is being internally rendered at 1080p and is being upscaled to 4K. Oh man, what is really going on? Oh, apparently there's some information within the digital pages that there might be a PS4 version. Can this be possible? The crashes, the game's crashing, the game is too hard. The game is it's like the fight between Democrats and Republicans.
Oh God. Pong. Oh God, please don't bring that up.
Pong.
Jesus.
What is going on with this whole Returnal conversation? Is it deeper than the game, or is it just because things are dry right now, man? Or what's going on? Can you help me out?
You know what? I think overall, which is great, because again, I love Housemarque. So I am super excited to see them deliver this first, AAA bigger style game. And I'm so happy that they've gotten the critical reception that they have so far. So I think for the most part, what I've seen is that most people are focused on the game itself, and what it's bringing to the table. And right now, people seem to be really loving it. Now, again, is that going to turn into big sales numbers at $70? We will see. I'm a little worried about that because, again, I want to see how Housemarque do really well. But it came at a great time. During a dry spell. Obviously, the start of every generation is going to be slow. So for them to be able to drop a game like this now, it's getting more attention than maybe it would have later in the generation. And I think it's deservedly so, right? I'm not taking away from it at all, but I think this would have been one of those games at $70 that might have gotten lost. It had it dropped in when there was more games available, next gen wise. This right now is this game right now is one of those games that does show off your system and the reason why you bought a new system. Now, it's not a game for everybody because it's a roguelite or roguelike, however you say it. We had that discussion.
I'm actually gonna look that up real quick. Anybody that knows the difference between roguelike and roguelites, please put it in the comments, man. Let us know. I'm also gonna look.
By the way, Marion the Mad is dropping code. He dropped the code in the chat. Anybody paying attention, grab that code, please. Grab that code.
Yes.
Good old Marion the Mad is in the house. And shout out to Marion starting his own streaming too. You know what? Everybody go check out.
Check it out, Pong. We also had Jeff Grubb come in and say that he liked his feeling on Returnal. I know he had some key things to say. I know people felt the
Grubb in the house. Did I miss it?
Yeah, I think you might have missed it a little bit.
Oh, Jeff, thanks for stopping by, brother. I appreciate you for checking
100%.
us out and coming in. Yeah.
100%.
So, Jeff Grubb, 3 out of 5, hated Returnal, by the way. So, you know, that was another one of the running narratives
that
out
makes
there.
sense right now, right? Like that.
Right,
makes
exactly.
Sense
well, you know, 3 out of 5, you do the math, it's a 60. So,
okay,
you know,
so boom,
that's
here
how
we go. Here we go, Pong. Jeff, the man, the legend, Jeff himself. Roguelike means you make no permanent progression. Roguelite has some light progression that carries over. So it is a roguelite, to my understanding, if I'm not mistaken.
Thank you so much, Jeff, for clearing that up, because I've been wondering that. I've heard it used both ways.
Facts.
So thank you. Thank you.
And we want to make sure, and we want to make sure that it's addressed correctly, because it's wild that people take these different things and twist it and turn it in their own into their own stories or whatever the case. We want the gamers to realize what's actually going on, so you can understand what's going on within the gaming community. So
absolutely
didn't want to stop you there, but yes, also before we continue, Pong, look out for that code from Marion dropping more than I believe it's Outlast 2.
Outlast 2
Xbox code dropping into the chat. Be on the lookout. Be ready. You have those Twitter fingers that you guys like to use. Hopefully the everybody in our community so far isn't that way, but
right.
Just be ready to enter that code, man. Look.
Oh yeah. So as I was saying,
so as we move forward,
it's a roguelite. Now that we got that cleared up, again, thank you, Jeff Grubb, for dropping in and sharing that information. But what I've seen again with Housemarque, I want these guys to succeed. You know, so I am so happy to see them finally able to do something big like this and show off what they can do. Now, is this a game that would, make me run out and grab a PS5 right now? No, it's not. It's not that type of game for me personally, but it's a game when I get my PS5, it is definitely going to be one of the games I pick up. It looks gorgeous. It has challenge to it, which is obviously going to turn off some people. People aren't going to like this style. I just want to see it succeed, because I think Housemarque is an up-and-coming developer that has been for a long time. They are one of those second-party studios for Sony that have not necessarily received as much credit as they should from people, but people are finally getting to see what they can do. And for me, that's exciting, because I love when developers grow over time, and they eventually get to put forth a creation that shows the world that they are ready to step up to the big leagues. And I think that's what Housemarque is doing here. And so for me, this is exciting to see. But again, to go back to your original point, Steele, there are some criticisms. There's some crashes that are, obviously concerning, because when you're playing one of these games and you're an hour deep into a level and you don't get that save, and all of a sudden the game crashes, it can be frustrating, right? So they definitely got to fix that. And they're obviously aware of that. And I think they're going to work on that. And then obviously there's been an outcry from some people that there needs to be some type of save system here.
Yes.
So what's interesting, what's interesting is you and I got into a discussion. We didn't expect it to be a discussion.
We didn't, but we could talk about it for sure.
Yeah, we could talk about it. That's what I love about this show, because it's just free flowing. It's organic.
Yes.
So the save point in a roguelite style game, right? There is for me, having a save point is going to take away from some of the purpose of a roguelite, right? And I understand that, and I know that's where you're going to come from, and I'll let you speak your points on this. Okay. So, but my point is here, from what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing when it comes to this game specifically, Returnal, is that some of these levels are quite large, okay, and can be time consuming, depending on, a lot of different things. But there's some people that are spending 2 hours in a level.
Right.
And that kind of time I think deserves to have some type of save system. Now, I think Housemarque is creative enough that they can come up with a way to give you a I don't care what it is, if it's a point within the level where you get to that you can, that the system automatically saves your point there and kind of breaks the level up maybe half, in half somehow. I think that they can come up with a save system that won't be abused to take away from the whole point of it being a roguelite. Because obviously, for people that don't understand where I'm coming from or don't play roguelites or roguelikes, the point of these games is that you're supposed to die. Okay. The point is that you're supposed to die. That's part of the challenge. But again, with a roguelite, as Mr. Grubb was gracious enough to tell us, you get to save some of your progress versus a roguelite where you don't save any of your progress. But the point of these games is to create that challenge through death. Okay. And that you're supposed to get better incrementally as you keep going through the levels, right? That's the point, is to replay. So if you give everybody a typical save, just a, save whenever you want at any point,
right?
There's no point to that style of game, because you could just continuously save and never die. Or if you do die, you just continue right back to where, your last save point. And the challenge is nullified at that point. Right. And so that would take away from the game. But I think that in this instance, they're telling people to put their consoles in rest mode. Well, we know there's still some people having issues with the PS5s in rest mode. So that is a problem as well. And I don't think that's a functional, way to do this. I think they need to come up with some type of, and I'll let you talk on this, Steele, because you have more, but you have more experience with Souls games too than I do, because I'm not a Souls player. I like roguelites and roguelikes, but I'm not a Souls guy. But there is a system in, Souls games as well that is, even though that is part of their challenge, that might help this game out. So I think this is probably the biggest concern of people right now with Returnal, is the save functionality. Because if you're playing for 2 hours in a level, you got to go, you got to take off, and you can't save your progress. That's frustrating. So you tell me from your point though, Steele, what do you think?
Like we talked about in the back, we were talking about in the background. For me, there's a fine line with it, right? Because it comes across to me like that was part of the design of the game. If you don't have the time to play the game within this time or whatever it's going to take you to get through this level, then maybe you shouldn't play it right then. It doesn't come across to me as if it's a game that's going to take 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and I'm done with the level. No. And if that's not the case, then as the gamer, you got to realize that it's not that style of game. It's not a quick game. You need to take your time with it. I'm of two minds of it, but my first mind and my main thought on it is, I feel like putting a save point in it is kind of taking away from the experience, because what I've also seen is if you complete a level, you complete a level and you die, you get access to that next level. Like, it's not like you got to start completely over and fight all those enemies all over again to get to that next stage. No, I literally seen gameplay of someone dying. They were on the second or third stage or whatever, biome, whatever you want to call it, seemingly. Because look, there was a completely grassy area, jungle-looking area. Then now it went into like a whole complete desert area, and there was a teleporter that he went through. He didn't have to fight anybody to get to that teleporter. He just ran. There were no enemies. It was just, he knew the path to get there. You could pull up a map. It shows you where you're at within the world, within that world or whatever. Now, you might have to pick up the map. It could be, I'm not completely sure on that end. But if those options are available to you, then the game doesn't need more ease of access for it to be played. Now, if they want to make it easier and give people a save point, like you were saying, midway in a level, I can understand that. What I'm afraid of is that when you start doing those types of things can get abused. And from what I've heard so far, is that the game's only a 20-hour experience. and it kind of takes away from the like overall, like let's say you never die and you know what I mean, you're flawless and everything, you're a god.
That's funny because I've heard different, but okay, because I think it's because of the randomness, randomness of what you find within the game can dictate how long your gameplay is. Because if you don't get the right upgrades, and if you don't get the right obviously sets, then it can take longer. And I've heard 30 to 40 hours. And if you want to platinum this thing, it's 100 to 150 hours. So there's like a lot that goes into this game and determines how long the gameplay is. No, for sure. Shout out to Jeff again. Grub, thanks for joining us. And he let us know in the chat that you can skip to the later levels from the early levels, but it's weird. You are going to need the crap from the early stages to survive the later ones. So
exactly like from what he's saying, it's a lengthy process. So I mean, that can be, that's the thing about it. And if that now, my worry is because we've entered a time to where the devs want the gamer's opinion, right? Like the consumer's opinion is so valuable, right?
Oh, well, obviously, yes. Especially with a big game like this, new IP.
We also can see it on the opposite end where too much opinion into the devs' idea could turn it the wrong way. Now, could them adding a save point change it to make it easy for everybody to jump into? Sure, that could happen. But from like you were saying, for me, I'm a Dark Souls player, so I love that. I love that challenge. Souls like games. I love that challenge. Dying to a boss 20 times is something that's expected. So a game like Returnal for me is me spending that 2 hours and going back. Yeah, would it be frustrating? But would I still keep playing because I love that challenge? Yes. And I would thoroughly love that. Your typical consumer is not going to love that. Again, it's a niche section of game. It's a niche game type of game that only so many people are going to play. And if you're going to open it up, I can understand why you would want to add a save point if you want people to have more access. Now, if that takes away from the initial point or dream or design of what you were trying to do with the game to make it punishing for dying. For example, if you get to a certain part, if it takes you an hour to 2 hours to get to this checkpoint essentially, so that you can, if you do die, you can come back and then just run straight to that checkpoint, or whatever the case, because either way it looks like you start over. You know what I mean? Regardless, you start over, but you can run to that next checkpoint. If it takes you that long, for me, it gives me that high intensity feel. It gives me the worry that, always in the back of my mind, that if I'm not playing to a certain level, this is going to be a long game. You know what I mean? And like you were saying, and it's so great that you brought that up, that we heard two different things, because like I said, if you had all the best mods and had all the best abilities and you're just a godlike player and you beat the game in 20 hours from what I heard, then cool. But then again, like Paul was saying, if it's the plats 150 hours, if you 100 hours, depending on the kind of gamer that you are, not everybody's willing to put that time in and just get smacked around. You know what I mean? And not everybody, again, I saw somebody was, I believe it was Big Cloud too. I think he was explaining it. Shout out to Big Cloud. I forgot where I was saying. He was saying something along the lines of, it's like Doom. If you don't like that Doom fast-paced gameplay, not multiplayer, that gameplay, then you may not like this. You know what I mean? Because that's exactly how it came across to me. Yeah, you got your third-person angles. You can get around corners and while the enemies are shooting at you. But there just seems like there's so much with this game, and I don't want people to get the wrong idea of what it is. For this game not to do well because people can't get into it. If adding save points is going to make it an easier experience, great. That's my overall point. But if it takes away from the difficulty, or if it takes away from the overall design of the game, I feel like that's going to be a negative
I wouldn't want that, and I would not want that to happen either. Steel, I would not want them to change their original design or their original intent with the game, you know what I mean? To accommodate. I'm not for that, right? I am not for that at all. If a game's not for me, like Dark Souls, it's not for me, and then I'm okay with that. I'd love to be able to play it, but at the same time, I'm not going to tell the developer that they need to change it for me to make it accessible for me. I don't agree with that at all. If you have a vision, you have a vision. Now, if they can do it, like I said, if they can find a creative way to just get like some type of little save system in there to make it less stressful on somebody worried about losing their progress if they're in the middle of a 2-hour run of a level, then I'm for that. But if it's going to fundamentally change how the game plays, then absolutely not. I'm not for that. I don't want that to happen whatsoever. You know, I'm just excited. Let's get back to the real, conversation is that Housemarque has a chance here to get their game in front of a lot of people who may not have tried this game, but people are excited to buy a next gen game right now, like I was originally saying. So I think this is awesome for Housemarque that there are going to be people who actually do go spend the $70 to try this game when they might not have later in the gen if they had a lot more choices out there. So I think this is awesome for Housemarque because there's going to be some people who actually discover they like this stuff. Can I also say how incredible it is to see them take a game, take their original style games, which is more 2D bullet hell style game,
that's what's important.
Turn it into a 3D over the shoulder.
Oh my god!
I mean, the talent to do this. Yeah. Oh no, it looks phenomenal. Again, and I'm not a great bullet hell player by any means. There are people who are incredible. I love them still. You know, there are some games that even if they, they for me are an extreme challenge to play. I still enjoy them. I like bullet hells, even though I'm not very good at them. I like them. I think they're fun. But to see a developer take what is essentially a 2D style game in a bullet hell and turn it into a third person over the shoulder game in a world that looks as good as this does is incredible. Like the bullet patterns as the enemies are shooting and all the different styles. I mean, that's bullet hell. That's shmup. I mean, that's classic shmup style 2D, space shooters. But they put it into 3D and the effect is so incredible. I was watching Randall Thor beat his third boss last night. Yeah, I was just watching. I was like mesmerized by the different patterns that were coming out, and I was like, I can't believe they pulled this off.
That's what would get me killed. Me looking at the patterns of how I'm getting shot.
But no, shout out to Housemarque though. Again, Returnal looks fantastic. I can't wait to try it. I can't wait to get my PS5 at some point, whenever that is down the road. It will be one of the games I do absolutely pick up and try, because I think this is a game that is worthy of the attention that it's getting. And I'm glad that it's getting even more attention because it's coming out during a dry spell for next gen. So, shout out to Housemarque. I can't wait to try it. And I hope a lot of people find out that they actually like this style of game. And please, Sony, if you're listening, please, I don't care what the sales are on this. Let Housemarque let Housemarque do their thing. Give them the funding and let them do another game, right? If they want to do Returnal 2, great. If they want to do another one like this, but in a totally different world, new IP style, let them do it. Just let these guys keep creating, though, because these guys are geniuses, and I really like where they're taking this style of game to and bringing it to this, to the third person over the shoulder type. I mean, that's crazy. I can't believe them. This is awesome to see. So let them do their thing, please, Sony.
And I want to bring this up, and it's kind of because it's something that that was brought up. I'm trying to think of who brought this up. Oh, a guy by the name of Doc Dark 1985, a good guy that he's a pretty honest dude. I like his takes. You know what I mean? He seems like he says that there's levels to this. I like it. I like the energy that he brings, and I like the way he makes things come across. Y'all check him out if y'all haven't. But he brought this up, and I wanted to bring this to you because I feel like it's a good point, and I kind of agree. Do you think that Returnal would be a good Game Pass game?
Oh yeah, sure. I don't
mean this, and I don't want that to come across negatively, because what I really want for that, My problem is I don't want the game to not get the recognition or the eyes on it that it should. The fact that it does not have the capability to get the 100 million people that PlayStation has on their side to get their eyes on it. At least I feel it's just bothersome to me. I don't know. I want to say partially because of what Microsoft is doing. And maybe that's part of the reason, but I've seen this trend this entire time because I've always felt this way about games, treating games as art like we always talk about. I just feel like it's such a missed opportunity that only a section of players, maybe 1 million, maybe more. I mean, again, there's only 7 million consoles, PS5s out there in the wild. And maybe 6 million of those actually are in players' hands.
Here's the deal, though, Steel. Right. So Chaos Theory just said it. Everything is a good Game Pass game. It's kind of true in a way, but I see where I know where you're coming from. Mm-hmm. And I think that is the benefit of a Game Pass service. Mm-hmm. And I think what you're getting at is I totally understand, because that's what I was talking about as far as Housemarque. The good news for Housemarque is that it's getting critical acclaim.
Yes.
Which is a big thing. I know a lot of people don't care about that in Meta Who, and I understand that point, but just from a standpoint of getting good reviews from, big outlets is important, right? Especially for a smaller studio. right. Especially for PlayStation, because we already know that's what they love, right? So that's a huge first part. The other part of that is that I understand where you're coming from, is that when you were charging, we're walking a fine line here because it's always been this way, right? This is the funny part about being an old school gamer. Like, I know what it's like to only, get 3 games a year and having to choose which game I'm going to have, and not playing, 20 other games because we just couldn't afford it, or that just wasn't how things were done. And we're now moving into this new era where with Game Pass, it's breaking down that barrier, right? So you look at the other side and you go, this is such a great game, but it's $70. There's going to be people who never pick up this game, right? Or never try it because, number one, they don't think it's their style, which is totally understandable. Again, games aren't for everybody. Not every game is for everybody, right?
Right.
So we understand that, but they're never going to try it because there's a price attached to it. Whereas with Game Pass, that barrier is removed. And we already know for a fact, me, myself, I've tried games I would never look at because it was in Game Pass. And I found out that I liked it. Right?
Same.
At Game Pass removes that entire barrier. And it's very hard now when you look at where you look at Sony or you look at Nintendo, you say, God, man, it would be so great to have a bunch of your games in a Game Pass type service where people could try them out for free. Again, we know they're not free, but there's no price, there's no risk attached to it when it's just a monthly fee that you are paying.
Yes.
Right? You don't feel that risk because there is none. You download it, you try it, you don't like it, you get rid of it. There's 300, 400 other games that you get to go play, right? Or try out.
Yeah, exactly.
It's no big deal. But you find those games that you never would have. So I understand where you're coming from, Steel. And it's a valid point. It's weird to think about that we're at that point where like Chaos Theory said, every game is for Game Pass. It's true. But yes, these types of games, especially the ones that are kind of niche style games, are made for Game Pass because more people would take the chance and try out that just to see, even if it's just the dabble for 15 minutes and see if they like it, versus putting out money and then feeling like they wasted their money, right? Yeah. That it's going to prevent people from doing that when you got to pay a price for it up front. It prevents people from trying new experiences. So I agree with you, and I know where you're coming from. It's kind of funny.
Yeah,
it's weird. It's a strange concept.
I just want people to know that's how passionate I feel about it, man. It's just, I feel like it's such a missed opportunity because, man, the game looks amazing. I just feel like at least if there was some kind of, I put this kind of idea together the other day. I don't want PlayStation necessarily to do what Xbox is doing because they don't. Oh. But if they had something like a demo pass or like where you get like an hour of gameplay of every new game that comes out, you can get this hour of straight to the point gameplay to decide whether you like this game or not. And look, Xbox could have did the same thing and still charge and may still charge you $60 for their games, and it'd been all right, because you can't say that you didn't get the experience or didn't know what you were getting, right? They just took it one step further because they felt like they needed to, man. You know what I mean? They really wanted to establish themselves again, like we've talked about in the past, as a pillar within this gaming world. Because that's what it is. It's not just the community; it's the gaming world, the gaming space, this entertainment space. Because that's what it is. It's a whole entertainment section on its own. That's the biggest. That we know of. So I just feel like it's just extremely important. Again, Returnal looks amazing, man. For those who have a PS5, invest, show housework. If you like that style of game, that you support it. And look, man, whenever I do decide, whatever game actually makes me decide to get one, it's definitely going to be something that I want to get on my backlog for that console. So man,
absolutely.
Other than that, as we continue to move forward, that was an excellent conversation. I love that.
Look at this. Indie Gamer showed up in the house.
Yes.
My God, Indie's in the house. ATL. He saw K Mega's reminder.
Ooh.
That's why it's so important. You guys, if you guys love us, share us out, because people see it. It's crazy. Like ATL and I are always in chats together. I've seen ATL for a long time, but if people don't get those reminders, sometimes they don't see it.
Yeah.
They just forget.
So what's important, if you aren't subject, hit that bell notification, or do it. Hit the bell notification so you know when
business side of
Split
things
Screen is going live, man.
Right?
You gotta hit that bell. You gotta follow us on Twitter. You gotta follow the Living Split Screen on Twitter, on Facebook soon, but also on YouTube, so you know when we're going live, man. And we're gonna try to continue.
Oh, look at Lemon's in the house.
The energy.
Lemon's in the house. Fastback is in the house. Brother Chris is in the house. That's amazing.
Okay.
K Mega's here. Six Layer's back with his coffee.
There you go.
Six Layer, thanks for coming back with your coffee, man. For anybody who missed it, Jeff Grubb stopped by to say hi, man. Shout out to Jeff Grubb.
He established the difference between roguelike and roguelite.
He actually helped us out. He came in at the perfect time.
And if you guys are confused, roguelike, you keep no progression. Roguelite, you keep some progression. That's the thing to remember. So
learn something new today. The one and only Jeff Grubb. Look at this. 108 Dragons.
Man, look,
Lemon's in the house. You know we're trying to keep that energy up, Lemon.
The love is why, and that type of love is why we do it. The fact that you loving the energy is why we keep doing this, man. I'm here. This is natural. It's like all natty. You like King David be saying, the Xbox Series S and the Xbox Series X. It's
gonna lose it.
All natty. Just coming.
Shout out to King David, man. I lose it every time.
Yo, I love him. That's another. Hey. Look at Jeff. I'm here.
I know. I'm here to help. Thanks, Grubb.
That's what makes it so excellent. That's what this environment is for, man. Look, as we move forward, we can't talk about touch quickly on because it's some rumors. We got some more frame boosts coming, man. Some more.
Yeah, we do.
Were talking about Xbox and Game Pass a little bit, right?
Big rumor.
Big rumor this week. And Game Pass a little bit.
Talk about
it. That slides into the whole potential with this whole frame boost thing, man.
What have you been hearing?
Look, it looks like we're going to get another 40 plus games that are going to be frame boosted into Xbox Game Pass, man, for free. Guess what they charge you again? You want me to remind you? FREE. You know what that spells? Free. 0.00 cents. Except for your subscription.
That's steal because we're just renting the games, man. That's all we're doing is renting.
Look, man, no, we can't do that. You're gonna start me on a rant. Don't do that. I saw King David touch on that too, and I 100% agree. Look, you cannot say that I'm renting games, but I can buy the games. I can buy them right. I can buy it right now. And guess what? I'm actually getting a 20% discount. What are you getting?
But we're just cheap.
I'm just saying.
We're just cheap. We're just cheap. We're broke.
What's going on? Let me adjust this camera
broke.
back.
We're cheap. We just rent our games, and that's all we do. So Game Pass.
I don't get it, man. The ability. I feel like the frame boost thing. No, it's not an amazing thing. It's not like, oh man, look at all these games. Right. What's important is, again, like we always touch on. Like, I'm always gonna do the shout to the guy, to the bro. Everborn Saga. Games are like art, man, and it has to be treated as such. The fact that these games are coming and are being frame boosted, these older titles, like they would on PC.
Value.
I feel like that. I feel like that's what's important. It's things are coming so in line with how things are on PC. We've carried things on for so long. On PC, you don't worry about whether you're going to be able to play that game anymore. You invest and you keep that library. Now in your gaming console, it's kind of like having that CD book, except now everything is digital. It's that mindless. You don't have to think about it because it's just there. It's invisible. And it's so helpful to what Microsoft has got going on, because it's just that it's the invisible strategy, as I like to call it. It's, you don't have to think about it. You don't have to print it out. We don't have to put it in the store. It's just available to you. And that's what's so great. I am looking forward to the most, because I hadn't had the chance, and I'm actually, because we were talking about it last night, and we were brought up the question. It might have been last night, or it could have been in Fun Pop. I believe it was last night. I don't remember. But we were talking about the Arkham series, and we were talking about the frame boost. And I was hoping that they would bring the other Arkham games, because they were saying there's just 3 more. I only played Arkham Knight. Arkham Knight is the only Batman game. I believe that's the most recent iteration. And I love...
You didn't play Asylum?
No, I didn't. No,
really?
I only played Arkham Knight, and I don't know why. It's probably because I was playing other games or whatever the case might be. I never paid attention to it, or I just thought it wasn't that great. Bro, I loved Arkham Knight. Arkham Knight was is one of the top tier games to me. Like, when it's like Devil May Cry, like when it comes to combat, Devil May Cry. That Batman game, Batman, Spider-Man is kind of in there, and Black Desert are kind of like my top 3. That's like.
Did you Black Desert?
Yes, Black Desert. All
right, brother.
The combat, there's the combat in Black Desert. I haven't seen a game that compares to the combat in Black Desert, just because of the complexity. Because of the complexity of the combat. Because Black Desert,
I played some Black Desert, so I'm not totally oblivious to what you're talking about. So I kind of get it, but I'm kind of shocked. Like, okay, all right.
At least if I would have to say, like, Batman, Devil May Cry, at least that Batman, Devil May Cry, and Black Desert, I would say are definitely some of the top tier combat style games as far as their complexity. And you can say, oh, Batman's not complex. You can press one button and beat up everybody. But if you're actually playing it the way that it's supposed to be played,
there's depth.
Dodging in the way that there's videos of, I can just tap Y and he just does everything. I mean, yeah, if you want to be corny, but who? I guess I could say.
Oh, come on now,
Steel.
We know there are
people do that.
Fine. I do that. I'm a button masher in fighting games. So,
but whatever. I mean, but it's a difference. There's a lot of depth. You still have
to have I get what you're saying.
Unlocks and combos and everything else. It's just great when you have games like that are so representative and are so iconic for what they bring to the table. I feel like it would be if they can bring those games out 60 FPS for the people like me who might have not played those games. You can go back through the trilogy and get that frame boost. You can get that at 60 FPS, that greasy, buttery smooth 60 FPS, because 30, you need to throw that out the window. If you're still thinking that 30 is the way to go,
filmic. It's filmic.
Go watch a movie. Your movies are 30, go 24 to 30 frames. Go check that out. We're probably trying to play games. You want smoothness. You want the feel. We want to feel our games, man.
We want that to touch us.
We wanted to touch us. Not like that. I was on board, but it sounded kind of too personal.
I agree with you. With the 120 frames, a lot of people are saying why, because nobody has 120 frame TVs right now. Well, I'm lucky enough to have one, right? I'm lucky enough to have one, and it does make a difference, right? Yes, 100%. The jump between 30 and 60 is much larger than the jump between 60 and 120. Yeah. However, competitively in multiplayer, the jump to 120 makes a difference.
Noticeable.
Okay, as somebody who is an average to maybe a little bit above average player in most multiplayer games, I am definitely not competitive.
You were having a good time in Warzone.
But right. I was having a good time in Warzone. But somebody who's just average to a little bit above average, I can tell the difference. It actually does improve my gameplay going to 120, right? It does give you an advantage. So basically boosting these games to 120 right now, right? It's only a small percentage of people who do have a monitor or TV that can play these games at 120, right? I understand that, but this is about future proofing. This is about, because maybe even this year, but I'll say in 2 years' time, 120 TVs will be the standard. Okay.
Think so?
Almost every, yeah. Oh yeah. I think in 2 years' time, we've already seen it in this year.
In 2 years' time. I thought you said
2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. 2 years' time, 120 will be a standard on most TVs. Everything will have 2.1 HDMI.
Two HDMI. What is it?
Yep.
3.0s.
3.1.
Oh, 3.1.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So two HDMI 3.1s bare minimum and 120 option.
Right.
Okay. That's where you're going. Go ahead.
I think
to the promised land.
Because you got to realize that video games have been driving the TVs industry.
That is fair.
Okay, video games as the consoles have actually improved, and more people actually now are hooking their PCs up to TVs and using them as monitors, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as especially with like the OLEDs, a lot of people do, right? So, but the point being is that the video game market has been driving the TV. That's why we have, VRR and that kind of stuff being implemented, is because video game market is dictating that that's needed.
Right.
And so TV manufacturers have been looking at the video game market for a long time, seeing what they need to put in. And I think 120 will become the standard in 2 years' time.
So.
I just think we'll see most sets out there with a 120.
6-layer correction, my 2.1. You're completely
2.1. Excuse me. Did I say 3.1? Yeah. Sorry, sick.
We're talking about in the future. We're predicting.
Yeah, no.
Predicting. That's my fault.
I was thinking about storage.
Yeah, there you go. No, you're right. Yeah, you're
2.1.
Right. It's USB 3.0, 3.1, and
yeah, exactly. That's for storage. Yeah. But I think this is about future proofing. And again, like you were talking about, this is just another value proposition that Xbox is offering to the people who decide to invest in their ecosystem. They are earning the trust of their customers as we move towards a digital age, right? Because there's going to come a time and point. I know people don't like to hear it. Again, 5, 10, 15, 20 years, whatever it is, there'll be a time where physical media is gone. Okay. It's going to be digital. Okay. Unless there's something major that happens that destroys the digital age, we're not going to have physical media.
I can see it happening in 5 years because of what happened last year with the pandemic.
Right, exactly. And they're going to move us towards that. So in order to do that, though, you have to make your customers comfortable with what you're doing from a standpoint. They have to trust that you are going to keep their purchases safe.
Right.
Not only that, but that you are going to obviously respect those purchases. And that's what Microsoft started doing by doing backwards compatibility. And they've increased the value of backwards compatibility because they don't have to do any of this. This is all stuff that people, none of us thought that auto HDR would be a thing, right? None of us thought that auto HDR could even be a possibility until they created it, right? And so we weren't demanding it from them. They decided to go do this because they want to show people that there is more value in investing in Xbox's ecosystem going forward. You're going to be able to carry all of your previous purchases forward with you. All of your content that you bought last gen is now going to be available to you in the next gen. And not only that, but we're going to make that content better, right? And we are going to give you auto HDR. We're going to give you FPS boost. And hopefully at some point, we're going to be able to give you a resolution boost.
Yes.
Right? They're going to continue to try to improve what you've already purchased so that you trust Microsoft and Xbox going forward into the future with that digital content. And Microsoft has a long history of distrust from the public. Microsoft, again, they dug themselves a hole for decades where people did not trust Microsoft. I'm talking about Microsoft Corp, not just Xbox. I'm talking about Microsoft Corp.
Entire Microsoft.
But again, right, exactly. So what they are doing is they are rehabilitating that image that they developed for a long time. And they are showing people that no, they are the caretakers of content moving forward. And everything that you do within our ecosystem, you can trust us to not only keep it safe, not only allow you to use it in the future, but hey, we might even be able to improve it for you in the future. Right. So they're future proofing all of this stuff right now. Yes. And I think that's why this is important. So to hear that we're going to get supposedly, again, it's just a rumor. There's been, obviously Tom Warren and stuff have hinted at it this week. It would happen late this week, but, we're probably going to get another big batch of FPS boosted games. I heard 50 plus. So, that all that's doing is just showing, the Xbox consumers that, hey, we're serious about this stuff. We're going to try our best to make every game the best it possibly can, even your old games. And I think there's nothing but positivity to come from them doing that, right? Going forward.
And I feel it's so amazing, man, just to see where we're going with everything, especially compared to what everybody is so used to, man. We're just entering a completely different era, and it's special, man. We got to look out for each other, man.
Golden age gaming.
Gotta look out. Let's just kind of try to be vocal, make sure that we look at these competitors and keep them on their toes, and we speak out as a community, man, and let them know that what we're looking for, what we want to enjoy, because again, we are what drives the market. I want y'all to understand, I'm with devs. I'm not necessarily with these companies. I do know that they got to make this money regardless of how we feel about it, but we do not have to support everything that they put out. We speak with our wallets. I need y'all to take that at complete face value, because that's what it is. Especially in this digital era, everything is about speaking with your wallet, not about, I know people try to say, if you haven't played it, you don't need to talk about it. You can have an opinion from looking at something, looking at gameplay, and you can make a overall opinion on something. You just can't say that something's trash and not have played it. Like that, you can't do that. You can have a subjective opinion without being ridiculous and stupid and saying that something is trash and not being able to articulate or explain why you feel that way. So correct. And I feel like that's so important.
Everybody has the right to do what they want to do still at the end of the day, and people are allowed to say whatever they want to say. But here between you and I, again, that's what we're trying to bring differently, is to not go down that road, because again, it's not productive. It's not productive in any way, shape, or form. So absolutely agree with you, brother. So anything more you had on the FPS boost, or you think we wrapped that one up pretty good?
That's about all I got on the FPS boost. I mean, it's an exciting thing to see. I'm hyped for it, man. Other than that, I guess we can roll into some other quick rumors, quote unquote, and some Xbox news. I want to say news with quotes on them too, just because we may have figured some things out. I know, shout out to Jazz Corden, who from Windows Central, who's been throwing some hints out there that there could be some titles coming.
Oh, I know where you're going.
Having an excellent year. On
the road,
there's a lot of exciting things coming, man. And we talked about a little bit. I talked about a little bit last night also on GRG. We kind of had a little bit of a debate where we thought for what Forza was coming and everything. That was exciting. But just to overall see the potential of the rumors, man. I'm excited. What do you think?
Okay, so we going specifically into IO Interactive?
We can definitely we can go into IO Interactive.
Okay.
I overall just was touching on, look, Jez was putting out, he put out
symbols.
He put out some symbols.
Hieroglyphics.
For those who don't know,
he was doing some Aztec carvings.
For those who don't know, Jez got friends in important places, and he's more involved in the loop and everything.
Shout out to Jez from Windows Central, by the way.
Facts. Miles and everybody.
Miles Dompierre.
Shout out to the entire team, man, and everybody who's involved. They do good work. Needless to say, I don't get myself emotionally involved in everything. I look at everything at the surface, because until I meet you in person, I'm not going to crucify you for simple BS, and I don't live on Twitter anyway. So, but anyway, yeah, he put out some icons, man, that hinted at. I guess I could bring this up on screen. Let's see if I can bring it up on screen real quick. Let's see. We're gonna bring it over here, bring it around town.
Get that thing up. Would you? Hurry up.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. Excuse me.
Pause.
Okay, but anyway, so if you got, for those who are watching, I pulled it up. He brought up some symbols, man. It made me question. When you look at these symbols, you saw the Mexico flag and a car. I automatically thought Mexico Forza. Okay, so Forza Horizon Mexico. Okay, maybe
Forza Horizon 5 Mexico. Okay,
yeah. So then we got a star and a tractor. And the tractors get used on a field, so we say, okay, star field. Okay.
Field.
Oh, okay, awesome. I'm figuring
these are all
out.
Obvious.
We're playing a game of charades, and I'm winning so far. I feel great. So we continue to move forward.
You're in the lead. You're in the lead.
I'm in the lead. So okay, so we're moving forward on this fantastic game show of guess what this is. we got this emoji that has like this Halo symbol. Okay, so Halo, and then this affinity symbol, infinite. Oh,
I love your drama Halo, right now, brother. Infinite. Can I just say I love your drama?
Oh, you like my drama?
I love how you're building this up here.
I'm so excited. I'm excited about it, man. Halo Infinite. Am I right on that? I think I'm right on that. And then
you're probably pretty right.
And then the unknown known swirl that it's just been roaming around the street, causing typhoons within the Twitter streets, flooding everybody's timelines. With a plus symbol after that. I feel like that completely put to bed any other rumors of, it kind of took out the whole James Bond thing for me after I saw that. Because I know everybody was thinking now, it's a swirl and this, that, and other. Now it's coming across more. It's Ubisoft Plus. And if that's a play that's happening, I think you guys.
And this is separate, just so everybody knows, for anybody who's been following along at home with Jez and his hints lately. This is separate from the other game that he hinted at, right?
Yes.
So he used this symbol to hint at a game as well. But it is separate from this one here, because a lot of people are getting those two confused, saying, oh, this has got something else to do with the game. No, I don't believe it does. I believe that Steele is spot on here, that in this post specifically, he is hinting at Ubisoft Plus.
Yes.
Uplay, whatever they call it. It is Ubisoft Plus.
Or whatever.
I think it's Ubisoft Plus now. I think they did it with the Uplay, yeah. So, but yes, specifically here, I think that's what he's hinting at, which would make a lot of sense.
Yes. And the main reason, for those who have not tried out Ubisoft Plus, why the main reason why that's important is because if they actually bring in Ubisoft Plus and it's games day and date, Ubisoft games, full games, gold edition, all the expansions, and if it's still at $15 for Ultimate,
game over.
That's completely ridiculous. I don't care. I don't care what you tell me. There is an unlimited amount of value within that service at that point.
Incredible.
And it's still no first party games, and there's still no first party games. I'm just saying. But anyway, as we move on, so Ubisoft Plus, man, that's a huge deal. I think. And then we move on and we have a dragon with a question mark. See, I was thinking about Dragon Quest, but now
Dragon Quest, yep. You and I both were on the same.
Right.
Yep.
We talked about that in the DM, but now
it was actually just a question mark.
Yeah, it was just a question mark. But but Dragon question mark, Dragon Quest. Okay, I see what you're doing there.
I was down on that one.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It kind of made sense, but now new things have popped up, and exactly what you were hinting at.
Hella Steel.
That thing with IO Interactive making a fantasy dragon game. That shit is RPG. What is called? It's an RPG that's just called, what is the code name for it at this current time? Is this Dragon something?
That's a code name of their team or whatever.
Something Dragon or whatever.
Dragon.
It's just that's all that it's called. Oh man. With IO Interactive working on it, the only reason why we're assuming that it's IO because of what's going on, what's been confirmed in the streets is that there's a developer working on this dragon game or whatever the case, RPG game, that is made by a developer that just recently put out a game, and that game was Hitman. So now we're thinking that it's IO Interactive, and if it's IO Interactive putting this kind of game together, it's a completely different style game from what they're used to, and I feel like that is adding more uniqueness to what's going on, because not only are they doing it, and there's been other devs throughout the years who've done the same thing, of course, as we're seeing with Playground, who are racing game. They've been working on Horizon this whole time. They're making Fable now, and it's going to be co-op for those who didn't know. There's more news that dropped. Fable is going to be a co-op experience. It's going to be a co-op experience with a single player focus. Kind of like I believe Fable 3 was. It was completely like you can go through the whole game co-op, which oh man. Fable, I played Fable 3 with my wife. Bro.
Mm-hmm.
That was my.
You guys are still married, and you're still married.
And we're still married.
Amazing.
Fable
kicking
3,
chickens together.
Kicking chickens together. Oh my god. Fable 3 was my first experience in the Fable, and it made me fall in love with Fable. completely falling.
That's crazy, dude.
The one, and it was crazy because my wife was just like, "Hey, why don't you try out Fable with me or whatever the case was." I was like, "All right, well, why not?" And I jumped. Oh man, and I loved it. The fact that we were able to do everything together, we were both involved in the story. The fact that all your choices make such a decision on the world, the good, bad, the light, the karma. I just love the entire feel of the game, the story. Oh man, I'm excited to see what.
Look at you reminiscing about Fable.
I'm excited to see what Playground's going to do with it. It's untapped potential. Lionsgate did amazing with. Was it Lionsgate? Lionsgate? No, that's the movie maker. Lion's Head. Lion's Head. Sorry, Lionsgate. That's they make movies.
I'm sitting here typing, so I'm just listening. I'm like, he said Lion something. So we're
but Lion's Head. Lion's Head. They did really well with it. But yeah, anyway, to tie it back in, like Assassin Looper was saying in the chat, I want to ride a dragon. Like I was talking about last night in GRG. Bro, there's games like Crimson Desert that we got a trailer for that make me excited to get in here. Let me bring my camera back up because y'all need to see this excitement. That make me want to jump into these games. Because I want to ride a dragon, Pong. I was excited about Scalebound because they were going to give me a dragon that I could train. I want to be able to train a dragon, Pong. Do you not understand this? Have you seen the movie How to Train a Dragon, Pong?
How to Train a Dragon.
Have you seen it?
I've seen them all.
Pong, you know how great those movies are? Don't you want to train a dragon, Pong? In an RPG style?
I like RPGs just in general, so I don't need to train a dragon. But if they give me a dragon to train, I am all down for it. Okay. And if they let me ride a dragon, I am all down for it. Right. So we're cool with that. We're totally cool with any of that. Right. Now, I love how people are running with this stuff because this is amazing and this is going to be exciting.
Yes.
And because all we've heard is the name of the team, right? And Grub, who's still in here somewhere. Ooh. I know he loves being called Grub, but anyways, Grub. Anyways, he laid down that he had heard that it was, and again, all of this is so early. This is a game that is probably 4 or 5 years away. They are early. So this game could be canceled. Let's knock on wood, it's not, but this game could be canceled. We never hear from it again, right? This is early development, but he had heard that it was more of a third person, over the shoulder Diablo-esque type of RPG, which would be very interesting. But I think that from what you were talking about, Steel, the excitement is fantastic, especially coming from a studio who is not known or RPGs in any way, shape, or form. This is so cool that they are branching off and creating a whole new style for them, right? They're trying something. And what's even more kind of cool is, like, we had heard rumors that IO might have been, possibly acquired at some point. And then they said, nope, we're good. We're on our own. We're doing good. Thanks, but no thanks. And for it all of a sudden to come out that Microsoft is funding or potentially funding a brand new game in a genre that IO has never done before, I think is very impressive and exciting to me as well. Because whatever they showed, Microsoft must have been Xbox, Phil and his team must have seen potential, right? Especially since we know that Xbox right now, they are hoarding RPG makers, right? They're hoarding RPG creators, right? They want to corner the market on Western RPGs because of engagement, right? We know that one of the key metrics of Game Pass is engagement. So one of the biggest genres out there that keeps your engagement high is RPGs, right? So whatever IO showed them must have been good, or the idea behind the concept behind it, because Microsoft is already loaded with RPGs. Xbox is already loaded, right? With what we know about, they already have a RPG. Basically, what I think they're doing is they're going to try to release one AAA RPG every single year from here on out.
You're saying that, facts.
At least one, okay? They want at least one lined up, AAA. And if you look at what they've got in the works, if Starfield launches this year, it works out perfectly, okay? Where they could have one per year. Maybe they have a year where they got two. Maybe they have a AA RPG in there somewhere as well during the year. But they want to keep people wrapped up in these big games and playing in Game Pass because you keep your subscription going when you're playing for hundreds of hours, right?
Exactly.
Huge deal. So I think this lines up perfectly. Why not get a second party studio to do it for you? Third party studio to do it for you, and get another one in the pipeline 4 to 5 years down the line, right? Because we figure that Elder Scrolls is about that point too.
Right.
Elder Scrolls 6 will probably be right around there. So if this one is still in early development in IO, you know, again, if there's anything we know about IO is that their games come out polished, right? The Hitman games are polished.
Yes.
So very few complaints about Hitman games when they, especially Hitman 3, the way that one came out,
it sold really well.
There was very few complaints. Yeah, they did really well.
Best one so far.
So I'm excited because I love to see a studio expand out and try something new. And they're obviously confident in what they got going on right now. So, you know, go for it. I love this. You know, as an RPG guy, of course, I love it even more because, man, just give me more RPGs and I'll be a happy camper from here on out. So definitely excited about this. This is a great rumor. I think you were spot on with the Jez symbols, his hieroglyphics. I think that's what I think E3 is going to bring about. It'll be interesting if they announce this one anytime soon, because this was not supposed to be, it wasn't even close to being talked about, and it kind of leaked because everybody got caught wind of it. So I think that's why Jez put it out there. So it'll be interesting to see how long before we see something official. But you know, again, the E3 stuff, you know, Ubisoft Plus, Halo Infinite, Forza Horizon 5 Mexico, Starfield, all of those line perfectly with what we've been hearing that we're going to see come E3. Now, if all that stuff hits this year, that's another question. Again, I still hold out. I'm still on the hill that all three come out this year: Forza Horizon 5, Starfield, and Halo together. I think they're going for the they're going to nuke E3, and they're going to go for all the hype that they can possibly get coming into holiday 2021. And I think they just absolutely want to crush it coming in. Now, if one of those slips to early 2022, okay, that's fine. It's not a big deal. It's not going to be a crushing blow by any means. They still have so much going on, but I think you nailed it with all the symbols, brother. And I think that's what we got to look forward to, especially. It's an exciting time, man.
Yeah, man. It's a super exciting time. Man, I just get pumped more and more every time I go. Every time like we get further and further into this gen, man. And we're not even a year in, man, and it's already going crazy. But look, with that being said, we're almost 2 hours into the show again. I don't know
already, dude. We got so much stuff.
I don't know how we.
You and I just talk way too much, man. We just talk way too.
I think we had an excellent conversation overall, man.
We
always have excellent conversations, man. The chat is in here still giving it to us live, and I love it, man. Again, much love to everybody that's here and joined into the chat, conversating. Y'all are lively. It's not just stale conversation. They're going back and forth, conversating and being very engaged, man. Trevor threw out the question, Living Split Screen, have you played the Falconeer? Thomas Sala killed that game. Personally, I have not played the Falconeer. It's not my style of game. I'd rather get that Panzer Dragoon kind of style back. I know it's of that ilk, but I'd rather be riding a dragon. Just me personally, my style of kind of style of game, what I'm into. I'm not saying that I wouldn't play it. It just hasn't been on my radar as far as the other games that I've been playing. But I don't give it flack either. It's a beautiful game. I've seen plenty of gameplay for it. And it's for him to have put the work that he put into it, for him to be the creator of it, man, again, it shows the potential for what we're going into. It just takes that amp meter up that much higher from you when I see
he is such a good dude.
Yes, and
he is such a good dude. His interviews are amazing.
He's good.
Like, if you haven't seen Thomas Sala interview, go check him out, because
good energy.
Dude is real and he's awesome. Yeah, he doesn't care. He's good. Yes.
For sure.
He's great. I played a little bit of the Falconeer. I absolutely loved it. I'm going to get back to it. It was one of the games I was really excited about. And then again, with Game Pass, there's just so much stuff coming out all the time. I get lost, and I'm a guy who plays nearly everything. I don't finish a lot of games, and that'll surprise people, but I try and play everything. Like, I love different experiences and different worlds. So Falconeer, I did play. I probably played for maybe an hour and a half or 2 hours. Absolutely loved what I played. Loved what I saw. Loved the old school vibes, like you said, Panzer Dragoon. vibes. I love that style, and I love flying. And of course, we're riding big birds. It's not dragons, but he does actually have a DLC that it allows you to fly a dragon.
That might get me in. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Exactly. So, but flying big birds is cool too. So, great game. I can't wait to play some more and dive into it because I heard a lot. I heard as the levels go on, it gets even better.
Oh, really?
So I do want to try.
Yeah, that's dope. That's amazing, man. Again, but like I was saying, again, we keep continuously having this excellent conversation every Saturday morning.
We didn't even touch on Ratchet and Clank.
We haven't even touched on Ratchet and Clank.
We didn't even deep dive the financials of both companies.
We didn't.
And our thoughts and our breakdown of the percentages and what that means, man. We didn't do any of that.
But do we have to, or can that always be a conversation? I feel like that's something that we can always touch base on because that's not ever going away. I
think both you and I are professional accountants, dude, and I think we should break down the numbers and what it actually means for the future investment.
And that's what
for both Sony and Microsoft.
I feel like that's what also for me. That's what's great about podcasting too, because you can set your limits or whatever. It's because you don't have to talk about everything, right? And especially the way that we set up our show, we intentionally wanted to be as organic as possible.
Oh yeah.
So if we have again, we weren't even expecting the show to be 90 minutes. So for us to even be going into the conversations the way that we go into them and really give those deep dives and that depth to these topics, I feel is more important than us touching on X amount of things, you know what I mean? Sure, we could talk about the financials. Sure, we could talk about who's beefing with who and whatever else we wanted to get into.
You want to get into the Twitter drama?
Yeah, we can get into who looks better, Ratchet or Rivet. We can talk about that. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. Rivet is kind of
whoa.
Rivet's a nice.
We're doing
character.
Furry stuff right now.
No, we're not doing furry stuff. But Rivet's is I'm not gonna say not an attractive character. That's not what I mean. But Rivet is an appealing character. For to get the girl power in, you know what I'm saying? So not only are you getting the Ratchet, but you're also getting the option, it looks like, from Rivet, where you're getting getting that cutesy side from it, you know what I mean? And you can also see that there's more attention to detail with what's going on and everything. And again, it's not coming out anytime soon. I think it's actually June, so we're still a month away. We're still a month away from that, so we still got plenty of time to talk about it.
That's gonna fly by.
It is.
May with all the games in it, dude. We're gonna be on E3 like that, man. It's gonna be crazy how quick this month goes.
Facts. And this month is gonna fly. And I feel like we can talk about everybody else been talking about Ratchet, man. No, I'm not in love, Andy. If we want to talk about we're not going there. That's a little over the top. I'm
furry love.
I'm just
getting you by Steel Rain.
I'm just getting at the fact that it's an appealing. Sony did another good job pulling out another appealing character. I feel like Sony does a really good job at that, coming out with games that come out with
mascots. Their mascots are crazy.
Mascots. Yeah. That's insane. And that's exactly what's going to happen. That's my point. They've created another mascot with Rivet, with these trailers that they put out recently. And it's another appealing point. That's my whole thing with it.
I gotta say real quick, I know we're trying to wrap up, but since we're on Ratchet and Clank, talk about a gorgeous game. Truly, really the first. I mean, we talked about Returnal, and Returnal has some amazing visuals, right? Yes. Returnal really pops off the screen, and it's important. Like I said earlier, that next gen gets these types of games that show off, what their hardware can do, because people want to do that with their hard-earned money when they buy a new console. They want a game that feels or looks like it's next gen, right? And I think Returnal has some of that to it. There's some visuals in there that are just absolutely stunning. But Ratchet and Clank is on a whole nother level. Again, Ratchet and Clank for me is a fun game. I've always loved the series. It's not a game that I run out and buy a PS5 for. It's not necessarily a game I spend $70 on, but I know a ton of people are going to and be extremely happy with their purchase because they are getting Pixar quality visuals. I mean, again, I watched the whole state of play. blown away. Again, the particle effects, just the clarity of everything and the depth that they have in some of the settings is ridiculous. It's stunning. Okay. And for me, this is the first game that's made me go, wow. Right. Like this is like the transitions between cutscene to just gameplay. It's seamless. There is none. There really isn't any. Like I had it blown up on. I was watching it on the OLED, trying to see how much difference I could see in those transitions.
You can't.
There's like it's like nil. There's nothing there.
At least in that gameplay.
Yeah, again. So shout out to obviously Insomniac, the entire team. I mean, just absolutely phenomenal work. How they did this quick and how they get these games out consistently. Really a top notch. One of the best studios out there, hands down, bar none. And you know, I can't wait. Again, when I get my PS5, it'll be another one of those games that I do pick up. Looked absolutely amazing. So
hey,
shout out.
Trevor threw out another excellent question. Ratchet and Clank or Banjo-Tooie? What would your preferred be? If they both were coming out looking like the recent Ratchet and Clank, if they both came out looking like that, and they were coming around, and they were both coming out tomorrow, which one would you rather go for?
I'd probably say Ratchet for me.
For real? Okay.
Yeah, for real.
For me, I would have to say Banjo. Okay. And I think it's for me because Banjo is more. I guess I could say is more so like me reminiscing. It's more so me going back to my childhood, kind of playing on. Nintendo,
no, I get it.
Playing it on Nintendo 60. Was it Nintendo 64? Oh, that Banjo was on. Playing it on those consoles, I feel like it was amazing. You know what I mean? Okay. And that type of platformer. There's nothing wrong with Ratchet. I don't have any beef with Ratchet. But I even throughout the years, I never played a Ratchet game. Never had a feeling to play Ratchet. Again, another good example would be Jak and Dexter. I played Jak and Dexter, and I thought that was dope. But I was never able to get into Ratchet.
Side note here, Sony. You want to get a game that'll make me go buy a PS5 immediately or go try to find one? No, Sly Cooper. You make a Sly Cooper in that engine.
Okay.
I'm there. Okay. You make a Sly Cooper with that Ratchet and Clank engine. I'm all about it. Sly Cooper is my personal favorite out of that set. It's amazing how many great games they have when you talk about Ratchet and Clank,
style games, platform style.
Yeah, exactly. And Sly Cooper. That was a trifecta right there. I love all those games, but Sly Cooper, that's my favorite hands down. So.
Facts, exactly.
Anyways.
But hey, as we move on, excellent conversation again. Man, we're getting to that section of the week that we come to every Saturday morning to remind you guys that gaming is art and continuously shine light on previous releases that are up to 30 years ago, maybe even more, that released this day in gaming. So let me go ahead and bring that up. I'm actually going to bring it up while I also have us underneath the picture, so that now you can
good sir.
You can still get our action in, but also see the titles that we run through. So look, man, this day in gaming on May 1st. We're starting 37 years ago in 1984. On the NES.
God dang.
They went way back today. Way back.
Back to my childhood. Yes.
On the NES, they released Golf Japan. I'm unfamiliar, so we're going to move forward.
I'm assuming it was just like Nintendo Golf. I'm assuming it was just like the old school. Yeah, I'm assuming.
95, and this is insane to think about how old that Fat Boy Game Boy is. Kirby Dream Land 2, man.
Speaking of Fat Boy Game Boy, another Fat Boy Kirby.
Yeah.
Kirby was something else.
That is hilarious. Yes, I love Kirby too. Kirby's one of my favorite characters from that era, man. I mean, even today, just the fact that he can absorb people and take their powers is amazing to me.
Yes, Trevor, that is correct. Steel likes to remind us how old we are when he does that.
Yes, that's the entire purpose of this, to remind you how old you really are. No, man.
For me, is doubly bad, almost double you.
No, man. We want you guys to kind of go back in your memory banks a little bit and really reminisce on those good times that you had with these games, because there's one of these titles that I have a lot of memories with that we're going to get into that came around in 2001. Look down the list to see if you might see what I'm talking about. But Kirby's Dream Land 2, excellent game, excellent platform. I love Kirby. All the Kirby Dream Land games are excellent. 1998.
Oh,
Nintendo 64, Clay Fighter, the Sculptor's
Clay
Cut.
Fighter. Oh, amazing game.
Let's look into that a little bit for those who are interested.
Clay Fighter?
Oh, yeah. Clay Fighter.
Oh, come on now.
For that.
I'm not even a Nintendo guy, but my buddy had Clay Fighter.
And so we had on Nintendo 64, we had Clay Fighter. On Super Nintendo, we had Super Famicom Wars in Japan.
Yep.
Not familiar with that
look
one.
at this.
And then PlayStation Tactics Ogre.
One of my favorite all-time Tactics games.
That looks
Tactics Ogre
familiar.
is, oh my God.
Heck yeah. That's dope. That's super dope. That's super dope.
So
excellent,
good.
excellent title. Excellent titles that year. Not bad, not bad. Okay, so we move into 1999. We move on to PlayStation.
Another
Ridge
classic.
Racer Type 4. I do remember this is a classic game. I put so many hours into this game when I was younger, man. Oh my goodness. It was a good game for PlayStation at that time for what we were getting. Man, you couldn't get any better than this, man. It was an excellent title.
Yes, Dreadpool, they need to bring back Clay Fighter. You are correct, sir. Agreed.
I can roll with that. I do want to see an up-to-date Clay Fighter. I think that would be dope. I've played it through emulators and whatnot. And it's a cool title, but it's one of those things.
Imagine current next gen style with Clay Fighter.
It would look crazy. It would look insane.
So good. Yeah.
Look,
Primal Rage too.
This next game is one of my childhood icons. Maybe it's something that you were able to jump into and have an excellent time with. And the fact that it came out on this day is amazing to me. In 2001 on the PlayStation 2, I feel like there was another version of this on an older console. I could be mistaken. I could be mistaken, but Gauntlet, Dark Legacy. Who remembers Gauntlet?
Oh, of course.
Gauntlet Legends?
I remember the original Gauntlet.
Goodness. Yo, Gauntlet is an outstanding title. Getting together with a group of your buddies and going through these levels, trying to get as far as you can, getting the upgrades, getting strong and strong as you move forward, talking about your buddies when they would die, people stealing lives. It was such an insane time because you really got this look at your buddy next to you and be like, look, man, you're not the great at this game. You need to pick a different character, man. Let me swap. I'm gonna use him. I'll show you how to use him. Use this character, man.
Or elf for you. You be wizard.
Exactly. We're trying to beat this.
Barbarian.
I was more of a barbarian. I was a barbarian. A barbarian or the wizard, man. Those are mine.
I was always wizard.
But it's
wizard needs food badly. Wizard is about to die.
I always thought that was so dope, bro. I
am a Gauntlet.
Throwing it
Gauntlet
back.
man.
I love Gauntlet. That would be dope to go. That would be dope to bring back. I think that would be super dope to bring back because it was difficult. The game was difficult too. It wasn't like an easy game.
Oh no.
It was like that in that Contra era where it was like you had to be at least decent at it.
That's right, Mega. Back in the arcades, Gauntlet was the deal, and at the roller rink, baby, roller skating, Gauntlet was one of the big hits there too.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. 2002, as we move forward.
Look at this list
on the PC. They released Elder Scrolls 3
Morrowind, baby.
And that's a classic title. I was never able to get into Elder Scrolls, but at that time, I was never into Elder Scrolls. But man, I know how much of an impactful title that was even at that time. I believe around then I was really involved in playing Warcraft and StarCraft and Command and Conquer, Age of Empires. I was really heavy on my RTS side. So I completely ignored this title, but Elder Scrolls is something as they continue to reiterate on it, it just gets better and better. The games get deeper and deeper. The stories get more and more amazing. And man, it just think back on it. They've been doing it for this long, man. It's crazy. Almost 20 years in the making. God, crazy.
Morrowind on the Xbox was the first time I took notice of Xbox 2 outside of Halo because my buddy's brother actually used to bring over his Xbox. I was a PlayStation 2 and Dreamcast guy, and he'd bring over his Xbox, and we play Halo and stuff. And I had LAN parties, and we did all that stuff. And it was cool, but I was never big. But then he brought over his Xbox. He's like, hey, man, Morrowind just dropped the Elder Scrolls. And I'm like, what's that? Because I didn't play PC. I was like, what's Morrowind? What's Elder Scrolls? And he's like, nah, you got to check it out. This is right up your alley because he knows I'm a lone wolf RPG guy. He popped that in, man. And he didn't see his Xbox for about 2 weeks. So Morrowind was one of the first.
That's funny. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. I can see that. I've heard similar stories from a lot of people. I'm not talking about a lot of. I'm talking about like a lot.
Morrowind was a game changer.
Yeah, no, Morrowind was dope. It's definitely set the standard.
Yeah.
Then boom, as we move forward in the Game Boy Advance, a lot of people might not be familiar with these. With these genre games, we had Naruto Ninja Council released in Japan. A lot of those Naruto games are dope, man. For those who are into Naruto, not Naruto. I hate when people say that. It's Naruto.
It's Naruto.
Naruto, no, man. Naruto. It just burns in my ears. I feel like somebody just set a fire like right next to my eardrum.
Naruto.
No, this
I'll make a song out of it.
It could be a good song. That sounded all right. It sounds like it could be a ramen commercial. Oh
Jesus.
But Naruto Ninja Council. I'm unfamiliar with this specific Naruto game, but the Naruto titles are typically good games to jump into if you're into that. But as we move forward, 2009, X-Men Origins Wolverine. I didn't play this game. I heard this game was kind of corny at the time that it came out. I didn't really play it.
It wasn't the best.
But I guess it speaks for yourself. Those who have played it, maybe you can remember how great or not great it was.
It was okay. Let's put it that way.
Okay. Well, there you go. So boom, 2012, and I actually remember when one of these titles came out. Mortal Kombat released on the PlayStation Vita. Of course, why not? Let's go.
Absolutely, got to be everywhere.
Kombat on the go. Like who can't?
Vita, one of the best.
And then Terra, an MMO released on PC. It's actually Terra's not a bad MMO. If y'all haven't
still around, isn't it?
Yeah, it's still around. Yeah, it's got updates and it's still solid. It's along those lines of like Neverwinter Nights. If you guys have played that,
yes, of course, absolutely.
Or Warcraft, World of Warcraft, I should say. I like to specify. It's along the line of those your typical MMOs. I'd say it's a little more easier to play. The combat isn't that in depth.
Right.
It kind of has, I want to say like a mobile game kind of approach to it. Okay. Kind of more like an old school feel to it, where like you do these attacks and it has these effects, but it doesn't really like match up as far as like with the enemies and the whatnot. Okay. It's not as smooth, but it's not a bad game. If for those who might not be who may be into it, I know a lot of people still play it. Yeah, Terra, man, PC 2012. As we move forward, though, 2013, Far Cry 3.
Still, tell Hyperfan Gaming, Devin, tell him what list we're looking at right now.
What list are we looking at? Look, we're looking at GameFAQs.gamespot.com games this day in gaming, because I am not putting this list together because I haven't been alive for 37 years, as we see at this list. I haven't taken the time to go through this list and pull them myself. So I'm using GameFAQs this day in the gaming to highlight games that have come out in the past, because gaming is art, and I feel like older titles still need that representation, just because, hey, you may have touched on these games, somebody has touched on these games, and I feel like it's good to reminisce and remember where we came from. Again, as these new titles come out,
remember your history.
Exactly. I feel like it's important. You were taught your history in school, not the greatest, at least from my perspective, from what I was taught in school. History is not my favorite subject, and there's a lot of things that they love to leave out, but in gaming, why leave this stuff out? Why not bring it to the forefront? It's just something that we do to bring attention to older titles, again, to remember where we came from as these newer titles release. So as we move forward, 2013, on PC and Xbox 360, we got Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, man. I heard it was an excellent game. Far Cry I've always been told, I've never been jumped into the series. Never had a reason to. I've always been told that it's an excellent series. Everybody loves them. Everybody enjoys them. They have a good time with them. That they're excellent co-op games, and people have endless amounts of fun with them.
I'm learning something new.
Yeah, I haven't.
You've never played a Far Cry?
I've never jumped into a Far Cry game, man. I ever.
Never. Any of them.
I'll tell you this. I tried Far Cry 3 around the time it first released.
Okay.
I played it for an hour and I couldn't get into it. I just couldn't get into it. Me personally, at the time, I'm not saying it's a bad game, but I probably didn't give it a fair shake, but it's also a game It's also a game that I'm not going to play by myself. No, I understand. No, I understand. But it's also a game that I'd probably like to play, but I'm not going to play by myself. I mean, it's kind of, it's one of those. Like, if I ever had a chance to, like, for example, if you hit me up like, yo, Steel, you say you never played Far Cry, I think this one is the best place to start. Let's jump into this one and let's do co-op. I'd be like, all right, man, let's do it. Let's see what we can do. And we'll probably have the greatest experience ever. We never know. We've had a good experience so far gaming together, so, well, we could continue that. But it's one of those titles, man. When you have all these games that come out, and again, me being a multiplayer-centric gamer, that focus wasn't there for me. And it was just like, damn, man. And I didn't have anybody at the time too, where they were like, yeah, man, let's go play Far Cry, or they were deep into that co-op experience. It was more so, I want trying to get online so I can catch me somebody to get my KD up. That's what's more important right now.
That was more important to you. Yes,
yeah,
I know.
So,
I get it.
But yeah, man, but not to say that that it's not a good game. I could never say that. I've heard way too many good things about it. It's just, I haven't invested my own time into it. So it's something we can look into in the future. Anyway, as we move forward, 2013 PC released Fez. I don't know what Fez is. It looks like a platform, a 2D man on a voyage.
Yeah, you'll see it. Indie Gamer loves Fez. Fez is a classic. Fez has been around for a very long time.
Heck yeah, that's pretty dope.
It still is now. Yep. Yeah, it gets ported over to basically anything that can handle it. Like, it's on everything. It's crazy.
Heck yeah.
Fez is cool.
It's dope for those can't talk. It's dope for those types of games to come over. You know what I mean? And then as we move forward, 2014, 3DS released Mario Golf. Here we go. Nintendo doing their Nintendo thing. Continuously releasing the same games.
Respect that hustle, without a doubt.
iOS, iPhone got Metal Slug Defense, which is cool. I guess it was defense game based off Metal Slug, which is dope. Metal Slug has always been a classic. It's always something that they could release another Metal Slug today and I'd play it because it's always a good game to jump into. 3DS, Picross E4, not familiar with that. And that's all right, because we're going to move forward. 2015 on Android, Asphalt Nitro. I think this was, it's a racing game. I think I played a couple rounds of this around the time that it came out. I have a hard time playing phone games, man. Just playing games on the phone overall, even with the whole xCloud thing. I could see it if I was traveling a lot and I wanted to get some good game time in or whatever the case, but I also would rather have like a monitor or something that I could carry with me, or some kind of setup. I'd rather have like one of those game briefcases where it has the LCD and everything in there. I'd rather have that. I have an actual 27-inch screen or whatever. I just feel like that's a better option for me. I'm looking at a small screen playing. It's cool, but after a while, it turns me off. Like
Asphalt was always a good series on Android. I'll give it that. But I understand completely what you're saying.
They do well. There's some solid titles on mobile games. I know people give mobile gamers a lot of flack, which I can never do because you're still a gamer, man. You're playing games on your phone. Look at the generation that we're in. There's 2 billion gamers and a lot of them game on the phone. So
I give props to anybody. I give props to anybody who can play first-person shooters on a phone.
Exactly.
So you guys are more skilled than I ever will be.
Facts. That's very true. But as we move forward, man, 2018 on Xbox One, we were talking about baseball games and how big MLB has been for Xbox coming on this year. Super Mega Baseball 2, an arcade style baseball game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, you are.
Look, man, another solid title. I know it probably didn't get a lot of love at the time, but again, if you were into Super Mega Baseball, you probably jumped into it, and thinking back on it, man, you had some good times with it. That's what this is for. Just to bring those good memories out, right? And then 1 year ago, 2020, we had Queen's Glory released on PC. I'm unfamiliar with Queen's Glory.
Nope.
I have no idea what it is, but there's a slight description. I could read that, but I don't have that much interest in it. So
I don't think it really matters.
For those who played for those who played some Queen's Glory, I hope you loved it. Anyway, that's it for this day in gaming, where we take it back and shed some light on past games, because as we say, shout out to the Brother Everborn saga, gaming is art, man. It should be treated as such as we move into the future, remembering where we came from as we move into the future. Pong, man, another excellent episode on
episode 6 in the books.
We put it back in the books. All these beautiful people in the chat. Look at them, just continuously going on with conversation. 2 hours.
Still hanging out here. Oh, Cyber Gunther just woke up.
Oh.
Cyber Gunther just woke up. Cyber Gunther, good morning.
Oh, man, he didn't even hear of the Queen. See, I'm glad we moved on. See, this is how we do things, man. Look, man. It's always a fantastic time. Again, like I was mentioning earlier, it's amazing to me that me and you don't even have to be talking on a day-by-day, even though we do talk on a day-by-day basis in the DM for the most part, even if it's us going back and forth with a little news here and there. But the fact that we're doing this off the cuff, the fact that we're doing this organically, the fact that we're bringing that energy into it, and we're not lacking and slacking, we're bringing the pack in, man. You like my little rhyme I threw in right there? I love that.
Man. Bro, you the hype man. I'm telling you, you got it. You got it all, man. You're just working. You're just gonna work on it.
I'm just trying to be as organic as I can be, man. Again, like Stanley Francois said, man. Live, raw, and uncut. That's why we do it. There's not enough.
Stanley.
There's not enough.
Thank you, Lupa.
There's not enough of it within the community, within the gaming world, man, within the gaming space. I want proper representation. I do not only, because I feel like it's important, I do not only mean it on the ethnic side, I also mean it on the actual soul side, where you feel it. I feel like what's so important with this new gen, it's not about, because like they say, we've reached a midpoint, right? What they call it, Moore's Law. We've reached that midpoint as far as visuals and everything, and it's going to constantly get improved. What's important now is that you feel your games, that you feel the news, that you feel when the passion that is involved, that we put in this, and because that's what's important. When you look for representation as a gamer, that's what's important. That you have people that are showing that energy and giving you the organic nature of themselves.
Remembering where we came from,
remembering where we
as
came
gamers,
from.
The childhood excitement.
Yes.
That's what it's still about. We may get older, but we are still playing games. And yes, the games have gotten more complicated and they've gotten more adult-like, but that doesn't mean the childhood excitement of firing up your console and seeing those visuals on the screen and hearing those incredible sound effects that you did earlier in the show coming through should not give you goosebumps, should not give you a little heart flutter. Because that's what this is all about. That's what this industry was built on, was childhood dreams.
Yes.
And that's where we still are. We're all still big kids. We can all pretend that we're more mature and that we're doing things differently. And we're going to dissect these games and talk politics and what the meaning to life is through a video game. We can do all that. But at the end of the day, we are still all just kids who are just looking for a good time.
Right.
And that's all we want out of our video games. And that's what Steele and I are trying to do, is just keep that excitement. Yes, we're going to deep dive. Yes, we're going to analyze. Yes, we're going to have our opinions. But at the end of the day, it's because Steele and I just love video gaming at its core.
Yes.
Period. And we love what it brings to our life. And then that's it. That's it, man. And it's fun. It's just fun. 100%. That's all there is to it.
100%. And just to kind of give y'all an update, man, me and Paul haven't really talked about it in the background, but it is something that is part of one of our pillars of what we've been doing. We are considering doing guests, and it's something that we've been going back and forth about in the background. What's more so important to me, and hopefully I'm pretty sure Paul's along the same lines. I want to establish ourselves first. I don't want it to come across like we need other people's big like their huge support or whatever the case, or that we're feeding off of other people to get to where we need to be. I want people to understand that this is what we're doing and how we're doing it. We will bring in guests. I believe if the last time we spoke on it, the way that we're going to do it it's probably going to be like we'll bring in one guest, we'll open it up, and we'll have a roundtable discussion, kind of like how we do now. I'm leaving it very open. We'll have basic discussions, whatever the case. So that it is something for you guys to look forward to. Keep that in mind. It is something down the road that we're considering. It's just not in the plans right at this current moment because Pong and I just want y'all to know how much we love this. Again, if we can do this for 2 hours, I respect everybody's time and I also respect our time. Sure, we can go hours and hours talking, but at the same time, we still want to have a show and it be respectable. So when other people come on, they know what they're getting and whatever the case might be. So that's something to look forward to in the future. But right now, just look for that live, raw, and uncut nature that we are going to continue to bring you as we always do. And other than that, man, yeah, another great show.
Another great show.
I just doesn't speak enough to the energy that it gives me this.
I can't believe it.
Saturdays, man. Can't believe it, man.
I still wake up every Saturday in shock that I'm doing this.
It's amazing, man.
We just keep pulling this off each and every week. It is. It's amazing.
There was something else I was going to lead into, and that's what it was. ATL asked really quickly, what are you going to jump into this weekend gaming wise, man?
We're going to jump into this weekend. Well, I'm definitely jumping into some more Second Extinction for sure.
Yeah.
100%. Definitely Second Extinction. I continue. I mean, again, NBA 2K1 will always have a spot where I play some games. I think that's about it. We might, I don't know. We might pull the trigger on R-Type, right?
Yeah. I'm
the new R-Type came out.
I'm highly considering that.
You're talking about those bullet hells, those shoot 'em ups. Steel and I might do that.
That just sounds so mesmerizing to me, right?
I know.
Especially being able to customize your ship now.
That's so many games, though, man.
But we could beat R-Type. We can beat R-Type, though. You know
all right. Well, so that's what I might be doing. ATL. I don't know about you, Steel. You got any other plans outside of that?
I'm probably along those same lines. I'll probably get some more Outriders in, getting some grinding in, some things since things seem to be running a little bit smoother. I'm trying to get my build together so I can
maybe I'll hop in
so I can continue to have a good time with that, or continue to bring life in that to see where the devs continue to take it, and how their support continues to carry over. The game continues to get a lot of flack, man. Again, play the games. Don't listen to everybody. Can make your own choices. And other than that, definitely want to hop into some more Second Extinction because we're having a good time. We were having an excellent time with that. And what else? And R-Type. Yeah. So I'm along those same lines, man. So facts. But we'll see. Y'all be on the lookout, man. Again, another excellent episode. Greatly appreciate everyone being here this morning, man. And again, much love to everybody, man.
Absolutely. If you love what you're hearing here, just share it out, share with friends. Again, Steel and I want to grow this as big as possible. We love you all. Share it out. Let everybody know about us. I don't care who it is. Just tell them, hey, check these guys out Saturday morning because maybe you'll like them. So, again, you know what you're going to get from Steel and I. But thank you all for coming out. It was an absolute pleasure. Appreciate it all. Again, each and every week we get better and better at this, and we just want to continue to do that with you guys. So, again, the support has been outstanding, and we can't do this without you. So thank you all for coming out. You are all beautiful people, and we love you. Absolutely. And just want to make sure, hey, guys, no matter where you're at, no matter what you're doing, no matter where you're playing, just play what you love what you play. We are in the golden age of gaming. Everybody enjoy it because, man, there is no better time to be alive and to be a gamer than right now.
That is a fact.
Oh, man, I'm so excited. I can't believe what we're hearing about. So, but again, thank you all for coming out. Have a great rest of your weekend and hope you guys find a lot to play.
Y'all have a good one. Peace.
Yep.